as you get at some places. It was delicious.
Yeah, I like the. So,
delicious.
If you're tired of your blah life and you're seeking more excitement, an Iowa man in that exact position recently sought to shake off the blues by exposing himself to cars passing by on 2 separate interstates, according to cops. Twice last month, police say Dannon Ary.
Spell it.
A-R-Y.
Oh. Thought it was going to be more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. Anyway, 30 years old. You see him right there. He stood. Looks a little like Ben Roethlisberger. You guys give me that?
I see some Big Ben in there. Skinny Big Ben.
I think it's pronounced Dannon Arse.
He stood against the rear of his 2012 Chevy Impala with his pants, quote, and underwear removed to his ankles, shirt lifted to casually expose his genitals, and stomach to oncoming traffic.
So he wasn't mooning. He was fronting.
Showing the junk.
Sunning
That'll
him.
get you.
When questioned by police, and he reportedly confessed to the incident. According to criminal complaints, he explained that, quote, this behavior was fulfilling as, quote, excitement that was currently missing in his blah life. He's being held on county jail in lieu of a $5,000 bond.
Nothing more exciting in your blah life than going out by the interstate and showing everybody your manhood.
Okay, you tell me if this next one's island worthy. An unemployed nurse in Italy has been accused of an elaborate fraud scheme after he was caught dressing up as his dead mother to claim her pension.
Yep.
All while her mummified body lay hidden in his home for 3 years.
Yeah.
This is just the movie
Mrs. Doubtfire?
No, Psycho.
Psycho, yeah.
Or the Ed Gein story. Did you ever see Ed Gein?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, don't bother. 56-year-old man named Borgo Virgilio reportedly concocted the desperate plan to keep the money flowing after his mother passed away at the age of 82. Now, instead of reporting her death, he allegedly wrapped her body in a bedsheet, stuffed it into a sleeping bag, and hid it in his laundry room for 3 years.
Well, how did that smell?
It eventually decomposed and mummified.
Oh, my God.
Now, to keep collecting her pension, the man realized he needed to physically impersonate her in what reports are calling Miss Doubtfire-style transformation. He shaved his body hair, applied foundation and lipstick, painted his nails, donned a long skirt, pearl necklace, and clip-on earrings. Get a job, dude.
What country is this?
This is...
Italy.
Italy, right?
Yeah.
So did you know the details, Tyler? Did he just like randomly have to show up to prove that she was still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it right here.
He had to show up, and once the officials got wind of what was going on, they showed up with a
it
sting
came
operation.
crashing down when the man walked into a local government agency hoping to renew his mother's expired identity card. Despite the elaborate disguise, staff members immediately suspicious.
I just was standing next to her at the urinal.
Yeah, realizing they were being deceived, employees alerted the police. Authorities compared photos of the son and the mother, confirming resemblance was too close to be a coincidence.
Wouldn't it be funny if they were like, okay, would you look at Mika Kelly in this swimsuit? What do you think of this?
So you're very excited, I see.
Now, he did pocket $95,000 over 3 years, but not his anymore.
Probably have to give that back.
Yeah, well worth it. Yeah. Letting a body decompose and dressing up like your mom, $95,000 over 3 years. Yes, sir.
Finally, police
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to shannara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown,
Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Fitting that the Egg Bowl is played in the morning, the day after Thanksgiving. That's when you want your eggs the best. The Egg Bowl gets going as we start our show today from the Iron Bowl location in Auburn, thanks to our friends at Bud Light. We've got drama at the Egg Bowl. We'll tell you about that right after LT tells us about our great friends at Bud Light and where we are today.
Yeah, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The Moe's Barbecue, Magnolia Avenue, right in the thick of everything down here on campus, getting ready for the 90th edition of the Iron Bowl tomorrow night. Just massive, massive implications. Cannot wait for this game. And you can feel a buzz already in town. It's chilly out. It's in the 40s, and this is good football weather. But you've got great Bud Light specials all day long here at Moe's Barbecue. Come see us. We've got Bud Light gear as well that we are giving out. But we're going to be here from 11 to 2 today and enjoying. Just popped my first one.
All right.
What time is it?
I told Dunaway it feels a little bit more like 9 o'clock than 11 o'clock. I think it's the cold weather outside. But here we go. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Let's have a big day, fellas.
Yeah, nothing like what's going on at the Egg Bowl with the buzz. Whether you believe it or not, Lane Kiffin tells Marty Smith in the pregame, and they're doing the hit now live on the television broadcast, that Mississippi State fans broke into the Ole Miss locker room overnight and stole Trinidad Chambliss's jersey. They know this because they had cameras set up to catch them. I say release the video or it didn't happen. I have yet to see the video. A lot of people are saying release the video. We'll see if this is just one of those old high school ploys to get your team focused and fired up. But that's what Lane Kiffin told Marty Smith, and they say they have video evidence that it was Mississippi State fans. Also, Florida is reporting as we get going that they do not expect to land Lane Kiffin because his communication has been, quote, erratic with them over the last few hours. Shocker. Lane Kiffin and the Chancellor of Ole Miss had a long embrace as they left the field after warm-ups, and all that is happening in real time while Ole Miss tries to secure a spot in the playoffs against rival Mississippi. Start with any of those reactions before they kick off in Starkville.
This is the first I've heard about the jersey.
Just happened like in the last hour.
It's pretty amazing. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie The Best of Times with Robin Williams and Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Robin Williams could not get over that drop in that big game, so they
had to go do it again.
Yeah, they decided to replay that game, and they were getting whipped at halftime, and Robin Williams puts on the mascot and goes in and paints and tears up the locker room, and then Reno Hightower, played by Kurt Russell, goes out, and that's the motivation he needs. I don't think Ole Miss doesn't need any motivation for this game, and I'm with you. Maybe the reason they haven't released this video is because it's a criminal investigation. I don't know. This does sound very
happen,
or it didn't happen. It sounds very high schoolish. But this game has become fascinating. I completely stayed away from it at Lance's lock. I kind of like Ole Miss to cover the game. I'm hoping Mississippi State wins it just for more added drama, because I really do believe at this point, with everything that is going on, and some of this depends on what the other teams in the top 15 do this weekend. But I think a loss here, I think Ole Miss is going to be in serious trouble.
Chris Lowe reporting real quickly that he can confirm it's either Kiffin staying at Ole Miss or going to LSU. Another part of the backdrop as they enter the stadium, Mississippi State fans on speakers as Ole Miss fans walk by playing the LSU fight song for every Ole Miss fan that walks by.
I love the pettiness of college football. That is absolutely perfect. So can I add a little color to today for Lane Kiffin to tell you what kind of day he's going? And I was unaware all of this was happening until earlier today when a friend of mine in Mississippi tipped me off on this. So number one, I think you guys would have to agree Lane Kiffin is about to coach the biggest game of his career.
I mean, yeah, based on the optics on the other side of it.
I mean, it's for a spot in the college football playoff. And by the way, don't ignore this, potentially the SEC championship game, depending on how Texas A&M and the Iron Bowl just down the street here go. So he's getting ready to do that. First game, I mean, biggest game maybe he's ever coached, certainly at Ole Miss.
Had coached in a lot of big ones.
He has not, but this one would be it, in my opinion. So they'll coach that game with all of this going on around it. And then tonight, after that game, Lane Kiffin will head to Tupelo, Mississippi, where Oxford High School plays their arch rival, Tupelo, in the North Mississippi Championship. Winner goes to the state championship game in Jackson.
See, I didn't realize this, and maybe this is the reason there's no decision, Because if you're going to leave, do you really want the distraction of going to that game and seeing your son play if everyone knows that you're gone?
Yeah. For those that don't know, starting quarterback, obviously, at Oxford High School is Knox Kiffin. So that's the day Lane Kiffin, with all of this going on, he's about to coach maybe the biggest game he's ever coached, and then go watch his son play the biggest game his son has ever played. And around all of that is this drama about whether or not he's going to LSU.
More on the video issue. Ross Dellinger now says he has seen the video. They have shown it to him. It is two fans entering the locker room at around 3 a.m. Now, Ross says two fans. He doesn't say Mississippi State fans, but two fans entering the locker room at 3 a.m. One himself videoing the break-in himself on his phone and walking out with a Trinidad Chambliss game jersey. Ross points out Ole Miss carries more than one jersey with him. So you're not going to keep him out of the game.
One would hope.
And here's the key. Authorities also have surveillance video of the vehicle they got out of and got back into.
Okay.
If it is Ole Miss people staging this, then they'll be caught by the Mississippi State folks. If it's Mississippi State students who did this, they'll be caught by the Mississippi State folks.
Unless you're a really good criminal and you were Ole Miss and you stole a Mississippi State car.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Then you did it. I'm going to say that alcohol was heavily involved here, and because it was at 3 a.m., whoever made this decision is still in the sheets sleeping right now, and they thought it was a great idea until they wake up and see everything.
They don't even know this is national news right now.
Oh, baby, how do you have a Trinidad Chambliss jersey on?
No questions asked.
Well, you gave it to me last night. All right, let's get into our Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3. We're on the road in Auburn because of the pick 3. You could play up until 11 o'clock today, the Friday games. Now you have until 11 o'clock tomorrow to play the Saturday's games. But some of you may have, some of you on the show may actually have early Friday games to play. So we're going to hit a Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3 here in our opening segment. Tyler, if you can get ready with that song in a moment. First, the show being brought to you by our friend Alexander Shinara.
Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys, that is where you go when you're in need of an attorney. No matter what the case, Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys is where you go. Shinara.com, Shinara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case with Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. And it's more than just personal injury attorneys. This is everything. They take care of bad drug and device claims. They take care of fire and storm damage claims, workers' compensation. I mean, just a ton of claims. So don't think it's just personal injury. He's a Birmingham guy, state of Alabama guy. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys, Shinara.com, Shinara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case with Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys.
And our friends at the Pants Store, just one block over from where we're at Moe's Barbecue here in Auburn, is the Pants Store, where they have a great Black Friday sale going on right now. You can take advantage of that online at pantstore.com. But if you're at the Auburn location, Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, or all over the Birmingham area, you can go by the Pants Store and get great deals today. Pantstore.com, anywhere you're watching or listening to us in America, Gentile, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, all the great name brands there, the dresses and the rompers for the ladies. They've got free alterations, free gift wrapping. It is Pantstore, Pantstore.com. Tyler, hit the song, man.
Pick 3, it's time for the pick 3. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick 3. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick 3. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick 3.
We've got our pick 3, Buffalo Wild Wings. They've got their pick 6. Big news. Although we're wrapping up football season, still in effect right there at Buffalo Wild Wings is the ultimate meal for 2. The pick 6, $19.99 at Buffalo Wild Wings. 2 entrees, 2 sides, 2 drinks. Pick between the boneless wings and any of their 26 sauces and seasonings. Spicy sauced or grilled crispy chicken dippers. Hand smashed double stacked All-American burgers. Side of fries, tots, potato wedges. Pick 6 meal for 2. Participating locations get in all weekend long right there at Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, an opportunity to get 3-0, get a ball in the bucket, a chance to win the grand prize. You don't have to play all year long. You just have to win one time to get into the drawing. 3-0 gets you into the drawing. 2-1 gets you a pat on the back. More balls in the bucket, better chance to win. You can play at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. I know, Forrester, you've got an early game here. I do too. I'll give you mine, then we'll get Forrester. We'll see if these guys have an early play too. I'm going to take Ole Miss in this opener and give you 7.5 points on the road road in Starkville. Ole Miss in a blowout today over Mississippi State.
So focused. You don't worry about focus at all.
Yeah. It would not surprise me if coming out of the locker room just now, Lane Kiffin said he's staying. We'll find out. But I'm with Ole Miss minus 7.5 in this one. I'm also going to take in the mid-afternoon game, one that I'll catch on the way home. 15.5 Georgia. I'm giving the points there. Easy win for Georgia on the road today against the Georgia Tech defense that is leaking oil down the stretch. And then right here at Jordan-Hare Stadium tomorrow, minus 5.5. I love this matchup for Alabama. They throw the ball well. Auburn is 100th in pass defense. I'll take Alabama and give the 5.5 tomorrow. Those are my 3 plays this weekend of the pick 3.
You notice Dunaway, as the crowd builds, goes his Alabama pick.
Let me go on and get this out of the way.
Let's get this out.
Let's get a full crowd here at Moe's as the doors have literally just opened.
Boy, that is a tough game tomorrow night.
Boy, it really is. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I've been reading
100th pass defense is Auburn.
Yeah, no, I get that. But
what does Alabama do well?
Well, they throw the ball. It's what they do best.
They did throw the ball well.
I will say this: Josh Cuevas being out.
It hurt.
That's a big story in this game, I think.
The fact that James Shepard is now the head football coach at Oregon State, that's official. That's been announced. Maybe Jamarcus. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's maybe a distraction, but I love the matchup. I think they'll be focused. I like Alabama.
All 6 losses by 10 or less. I read this yesterday or a couple of days ago. Post Gus Malzahn, Auburn has played 25 ranked teams. What do you think the record is?
Post Gus Malzahn against 25 ranked teams, Auburn is going to be 4-21.
I'm going to say 1-24. The one win over Texas A&M last year.
I mean, it's 3-22.
Yeah.
Close. I mean, it is not.
It wasn't a lot. Yeah.
I mean, that's bad. But they have been in a lot of these games. I mean, back to it. Arkansas is the only other team that has more single-digit losses this year than the Auburn Tigers.
Ole Miss with an early touchdown, up 7-0. Forrester,
good for you right there.
Forrester, let's go with your animation, claymation, Fun Nation play here. Talk to me, buddy. Who you got in your pick 3 today?
Okay, well, this first one's already not looking good. I've got Lane Kiffin coaching this game in both LSU and Florida gear, getting mauled by the Mississippi State Bulldog. I've got Tennessee putting Vanderbilt's playoff hopes to rest. And then I've got DJ Durkin summoning all of the ghosts to Jordan-Hare Stadium. Give me Auburn plus 6.5.
Your Tennessee pick's a good one. I like that one.
Diego Pavia crying.
You do a lot of crying lately in your animation.
Diego Pavia and Theo Vaughn crying. The ghost chasing.
That's Forrester's plays. We will get plays. We'll get plays from Lance and Ryan and Brooks a little bit later on in our pick 3, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Some of the bigger games going on in the country. After we tell you about the great folks at Odie's, LT, tell us about those folks.
Odie's Tavern. We were in there on Wednesday night for Odie's Team Trivia. Then we had a little live music. They'll have live music again tonight. It's a great place to watch all the games all weekend long. Birmingham Institution, 2 locations, the original in Crestline, newest location right there in Edgewood. Great food from Rodney Davis, almost 4 decades now. The ice cold buckets full of the Bud Light. Stop in, see Will Haver and that great staff. Again, Birmingham Institution, it's Odie's Tavern.
And of course, we're here at Moe's Barbecue in Auburn. There are 3 locations. I swung by another one on my way here this morning. There's one in Opelika. There's 2 actually in Auburn.
Purposely, or
I mean, you just throw it into waves when you leave. Yep. When you leave Mentone, you just put Moe's Barbecue Auburn.
Yeah. Damn, how long was that drive from Mentone today?
It's hefty. It's a hefty 3:40, I think.
You throw it in there, and if the time looks about right, you're like, yep, that's the one. Let's go.
It's at Auburn. It's at Auburn.
On my commute in, I'm sitting there listening to Gino Torretta and Taylor Zarzar, and they're talking about last week's games.
Yeah. Oh, it was just a replay?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Cue to everybody Monday morning listening to us all the time. We're always talking about games coming up on the weekend.
It's a little different. It's a Friday of massive weekend, though. You would think you could roll somebody out of bed to do something.
But this Moe's is right here in downtown. We're Toomers is right here on the corner.
That's right.
I mean, so This is the downtown location that we're at today. We're here for 3 hours. So we've got the audio in control. So the people that are watching the Egg Bowl here will listen to us, watch the Egg Bowl, and enjoy that. Georgia Tech later on, and then later tonight, Texas A&M. But we fell in love with this place. this location, the one in Birmingham and Lakeview, the one in Tuscaloosa, just down from Innisfree. We fell in love with Moe's original barbecue a long, long time ago. So delicious.
Oh, and I know Brown's kind of a barbecue snob, so I don't know where you are on the white sauce, but Moe's white sauce is so freaking good.
It is good.
And I'll tell you what, and this is not the time for it probably because there's a lot of turkey hangover, but their turkey sandwich with the white sauce.
Good. Their smoked turkey is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite thing at a barbecue restaurant, believe it or not, is smoked turkey.
Okay.
I think smoked turkey done right is terrific. They do it right here at Moe's.
So we appreciate them and our great friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy having us out. We'll keep updated on the scores going on. Ole Miss leading Mississippi State 7-0. If you are working today or if you're traveling today and have us on the audio platform, the live score updates as we go. So if you're trying not to get a live score update listening to us today, probably not your day to tune in to us. Before they get too deep into this game or before the news breaks, and I do believe that if he is leaving Ole Miss, the news is going to break before this game is over with. Now that we're into the kickoff mode, Chris Lowe probably knows the decision already. LSU probably knows the decision already. Ole Miss probably knows the decision already. What do you guys think is going to happen before it actually happens?
Again, I think if he was staying, he would have told them before the game, and I think it would be out. So I do think he's going to go. I'll let you get your point real quick.
No, you're good.
I personally, I don't know where you guys are on this. I think Lane Kiffin, I've said it a million times, great play caller. He does bring edge to your program. I think it's needed at Ole Miss. Probably not so much at LSU. He just doesn't seem like a coach that's ever going to win a championship to me. I think he ultimately goes, though, because I do think we would have heard by now.
Can I, just a couple of thoughts to string together here, if you don't mind. Take just 1 second here to string these together. There are two reasons to keep this going if you're Lane Kiffin, right? Reason number one is I can do the hero move. I can be the hero, the guy, we're staying, You do that before the Egg Bowl,
Absolutely.
Don't you?
And then that's when you go beat them by 7.
That's right. You do that before the Egg Bowl. So to me, that's out the window.
I believe the players already know, maybe pregame speech, if
he's done that.
Staying, yes.
But that would have gotten out, I think, by now.
Yeah, I agree. So that's number one. Number two, the only other reason you would do it is if you're trying to get something else out of Oxford, out of Ole Miss. Well, he's going to be maybe the highest paid coach in football. I still think he will be, but when this is all said and done.
I mean, look, if Drink just got almost $11 million a year.
Hang on, hold on that. His NIL, I'm told, is in good shape. Pete Golding, I think, is the highest paid defensive coordinator in the SEC. Charlie Weiss Jr. is one of the top 2 or 3 highest paid offensive coordinators. Your staff's getting plenty of money right now. But to me, you start connecting the dots. When Clark Lee and Eli Drinkwitz agree to deals, what does that tell you?
That the word's out that Lane's already made his decision, and this is where it's all settling. That was going to be my point, is Jimmy Sexton's fingerprints are on all of these.
Yep.
If Lane holds his water, that helps me get better deals for everyone else. Lane, if somebody else back before you got this deal at Ole Miss, we held his deal before announcing it so you could get this great deal.
Yep.
So we need you to hold this announcement so I can get so-and-so a good deal, so-and-so a good deal, so-and-so a good deal. Once I got all them in place, then we can make the announcement about you.
It's the hidden thing that Jimmy Sexton is really good at, is taking the lead dog, whoever is going to be the biggest candidate in any coaching carousel season, and telling that guy, you got to hold for me so I can move all these parts behind you. We know where you're going, but I got to move all these parts. I don't think there's a world in which Eli Drinkwitz and Clark Lee would agree to new deals without absolutely knowing LSU was off the table.
Yep, I would agree, because I think not so much Clark Lee, but, Drinkwitz was, second or third in odds?
I mean,
if Lane turned them down, there's a chance that Drink was next up.
I think if Lane said no, Eli Drinkwitz and Clark Lee would be guys they would at least test, right? And you never know. I mean, if I get the interview, I may get the job. If I interview great and I blow their socks off, I may get the job. So to me, that was the telltale sign, is when you see Eli Drinkwitz and Clark Lee agree to deals, the LSU thing's done, and all signs point to it being done with Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, and I think for Clark Lee, obviously he's a Vanderbilt guy, and, you look at, I think Drinkwitz very thankful for the opportunity, but, there's a good chance Drink loses tomorrow. Arkansas picks up that first win.
7-5 with a $10 deal.
And I think there is something to having some peace and not having the absolute fanatical fan base that if you're not going to a college football playoff one year and you don't get there the next year, then people football wants you out. I think I'm almost, and you guys know people like this. I think Lane Kiffin is one of those that is wired. He needs chaos in his life at all times. and because he has, in some regards, sobered up and he's gotten a little more mature. And, maybe some of that chaos is gone. He needs more chaos. And, that's chaos going to LSU, in my opinion.
Speaking of chaos, so if Florida's out of the mix, as Chris Lowe's reporting, it's down to LSU and Ole Miss. Other coaching moves that could impact both teams that are going on playing here at Jordan-Hare Stadium, Alabama and Auburn, after we tell you about the great folks at Bojangles Brownie.
You can make a bow time at Bojangles, whether it is the college football watch party that you'll have at your house tomorrow, or if you're tailgating down here in Auburn, or a high school football game tonight. If your team's fortunate enough to still be alive, you can make it Bojangles. And by the way, great idea for that holiday party. You want a unique holiday party? Let Bojangles handle that for you as well. From the great chicken tenders to those bow bites, the smaller chicken bites that they've got there, the great sides, the biscuits, everything is right there at Bojangles. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, college football watch party, high school football tailgating, or your holiday party, make it Bojangles and bow time.
Okay, before we talk about the impact of Jamarcus Shepard to Oregon State, and he will coach this game for Alabama tomorrow as the wide receiver co-offensive coordinator. But with the decision impending, by the way, Mississippi State has just scored a touchdown, so it's 7-6, extra point impending. So the offense thinks Lane Kiffin is staying. The defense thinks he's leaving, if you're just playing that game in your head.
By the way, Egg Bowl could be fun on a Friday, too, it turns out.
Yeah, by the way, it was third down and long from inside your own 3, and they hit bang passes to keep that drive alive. It was about to turn bad.
But almost 2 big hitters. I mean, they almost broke both of those.
Yeah, so State has answered, and that extra point will make it 7-7 at the Egg Bowl. Both teams opening drives for a touchdown. Jamarcus Shepard, Alabama's co-offensive coordinator, on his way to Oregon State to be the head coach eventually, his first head coaching job. He will coach tomorrow. Auburn's opening still out there. Jon Sumrall, thought to be Auburn's leading candidate. Now with Florida out of the Lane Kiffin mix, Neil McCready and others saying Florida has interest in Jon Sumrall. Ole Miss, if it opened up, would have interest in Jon Sumrall. We don't know about LSU. But we know Florida, Ole Miss, and Auburn interest in Jon Sumrall. This sort of throws a little spice onto that conversation about Jon Sumrall here in Auburn.
Yeah, and again, much like Lane Kiffin, there's no reason to rush into this agreement with anybody for Jon Sumrall, because you got some desperate people. Because again, I'll point out some of the guys that are perceived to be in the next group of candidates just agreed to their job. Like if you're LSU. Well, LSU's going to get Kiffin. If you're Ole Miss, Florida, we know Auburn's already on Sumrall. Where do you go if not Sumrall? If you're Ole Miss or Florida, what's your next call? If
are you guys a little surprised that Pete Golding doesn't get any talk for Ole Miss?
I don't think he's completely off the table.
Yeah, and the only reason I say this is I think he's done a good job. I think he's doing his best coaching in Oxford, and, having a little stability there. We saw him early on in his Alabama career. He seems like a guy that has the control of a head coach, and what they've got dialed in, he could just keep that rolling, in my opinion.
So keep in mind that when Alabama hired Pete Golding from UTSA, Alabama already had a defensive coordinator. It's not that they didn't have a defensive coordinator. They had one. They hired Pete Golding because Nick Saban liked him, and Nick Saban thought he had head coaching potential. I think Nick Saban thought that this guy was going to be a head coach one day. So, yeah, there is that. It wouldn't shock me. I mean, you see my point, right? If you're Florida, where do you go? If it's not Jon Sumrall, who's your next call if you're Florida? Do you think Alex Golesh is slow playing Arkansas, waiting to see what happens there?
Some people believe it's Jed Fish, who is the betting favorite from Washington to be the head coach, and then that too would impact maybe the Alabama coaching staff, with Ryan Grubb being one of the leading candidates to replace Fish at Washington.
Yeah,
that's who some people think is in line to take the Florida job.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, Jed Fish, I think, is a good coach.
Yeah, I'd rather have Sumrall.
I think so too. I'd certainly rather have Lane Kiffin. I thought I was getting him at one point.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys broke up with people back in the day. Were you guys good breakup people? Like, would you call and say, hey, this isn't working out, let's break up? Or would you, as Florida is telling people, would your communications become erratic like Kiffin's communication with Florida? I hate to say it, but my communications became erratic kind of guy. I was never.
Well, it's easier to ghost back in our day, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. The last time I broke up with a girl, Jim, the options were in person, handwritten note, or landline.
That's right.
So you didn't have a ton of options back then.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, truthfully, I got broke up with more than I broke up with anybody.
Sure.
But when I did want to break up, I was the erratic communicator.
You were Lane Kiffin.
Eventually letting them break up with me. I became the bad boyfriend and would let people break up with me. It was always easier.
Yeah.
It was always easier.
You just drove them to the breakup.
Yeah.
It's got to be an ego kick for Florida. You know, there was a moment where Florida seemed like maybe the most dialed-in program athletically overall, from Spurrier to Urban Meyer, and now they end up with Jed Fish.
I know. No, look, though, this is one of those hires where one day you're like, dang, they got Jed Fish. Yeah, I mean, if it works in hindsight, but boy, it doesn't feel that way, does it?
But when you read the Chris Lowe on-3 report, in recent days, sources said Kiffin's erratic communications and behavior has led Florida to think he may be more interested in his other options. That is 100% high school breakup right there. His erratic communication and behavior has had him leaning in a different direction. All right, Todd Fuhrman, next segment. He'll run through all the big games today and tomorrow, including the game up in Ann Arbor, where Ohio State and Michigan will play, with some playoff implications, though they seem to be distant now, both for Michigan and Ohio State is locked in. So I don't know how much of an impact that game will have on the playoffs. Michigan needs help with an Oregon loss and a Michigan win just to get into the Big Ten championship game, which would be crucial for them making the playoffs. He'll also tell us how he feels about Alabama and Auburn at Jordan-Hare Stadium. That is coming up with Fuhrman on the other side. The show being brought to you by our friends at Lance's Lock, brought to you by Hemp Hill. Lance's Lock, you can get the big plays today.
Yeah, we've got another winning day yesterday. Man, we were so close to an outstanding day. If we would have gotten the over last night in Cincinnati, Baltimore, I think there were 4 turnovers inside the 10-yard line.
5 total by Baltimore. That's crazy.
But if you were paying attention on that total went off at 51.5. It hit on 46, but that was just a tough beat. But we still had a winning day. We've got, I'm counting them right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays today, including a play in the NFL. It is always, and you go to lanceslock.com for that, always brought to you by our friends. Hemp Hill Services, trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954. For all of your plumbing, heating, cooling, any of these issues arise, make the phone call that we've all made before, 229-2090. That is 205-229-2090, or online hemphillservices.com.
Hey, when it came time to redo the master bath in the Brown home, my wife Jennifer got on the internet and scoured that puppy looking for the right person for the job. It was Brad Bell. Brad Bell is the guy that redid the master bath for us, and he can do the same for you, whether it is master bathroom, master bedroom, the master bedroom closets, the kitchen. That's what he specializes in, and that's important that you know what he specializes in, because that is, number one, the rooms you're going to enjoy when you own the house, and number two, the rooms that you're going to get a little money back on when you go to sell your house. That's my man, Brad Bell. You can see more, AlabamaBathRemodels.com, or just give Brad a call to get him to come out and look at your job, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, or AlabamaBathRemodels.com. It is Brad Bell. We talk with Todd Fuhrman when we return to Moe's in Auburn on the next round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, a car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, Trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Catch up on all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Todd Fuhrman in just a second. By the way, already overnight, Eli Drinkwitz and Clark Lee announcing they're staying at Missouri and Vandy's Missouri. I forget which order I gave it to you in. So those two coaches are staying. We'll stick with that. Our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, you've stuck with them for over 70 years of the best urological care in Central Alabama with 16 locations and the best urologists you'll find. Go online at urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com to get all the details there. 70 years of the best urological care from prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between. Our friends at UCA will take care of you, urologycentersalabama.com or 205-930-0920 to make an appointment.
All right, Todd Fuhrman is joining us. Fuhrman is CBS Sports, and at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter is where you follow him, and you can always get some great insight from Fuhrman on all the big games. We'll talk with him about those right now. Fuhrman, welcome in. How are you today, buddy?
I'm
Tyler,
still
we do
working
not hear
on
Todd.
getting Fuhrman.
Huh?
I'm still working on getting Fuhrman.
Okay.
I've been calling him.
Tyler's still working on getting Fuhrman. That's why we didn't hear him, Jim.
We'll get Fuhrman in just a second. 7-7 at the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss, Mississippi State underway. Later today, 2:30, Georgia Tech. ABC is SEC ABC all-day affair again. And then, again, that's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for that game. Texas A&M, Texas, and Austin tonight, 6:30, where Texas A&M is a 2.5-point favorite in that one, Lance. A little surprising to some that the Aggies roll off that not at a pick 'em or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but I think we've all doubted Texas A&M for so long, and what do? They go out, they win. Texas is playing much better. You look at Arch Manning, and I think it starts with him. In the month of November, 9th in the FBS in total QBR. So, like, he's playing much better football. Their defense, however, has been giving up some big plays. So this is another one of those fascinating games. I think Texas still believes, with a lot of chaos, if they win this game, they can still get in, which is crazy.
Well, they can if they lose it. So you may as well just win it and see what happens.
Very true.
Yeah, but if nothing else, you could knock Texas A&M out of the SEC championship game. You think that's probably important to Texas fans? Knock A&M out of the championship game?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, they've never been there.
Yeah, they've never been there. And you were there year one, right?
Yeah, I was going to take Texas. I was going to take Pittsburgh. Those are other good plays I was going to take, and I can't wait to talk to Fuhrman about some of those games going on while we wait on Fuhrman. No wait for you at Twin Peaks if you're in the Birmingham area today, LT.
Home of the 29-degree signature beer. You can head over there, post up, watch all of this action from the Egg Bowl, A&M and Texas that we mentioned, Georgia Tech. It's all going to be on right there all weekend long. And great food from our friends at Twin Peaks. Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Go see those Twin Peaks girls running around in 3D and enjoy the 29-degree drafts from our friends at Twin Peaks.
All right, as we wait on Fuhrman, last night in the NFL, you saw a lot of things happen, but the Cowboys, over 50 million people watched the Cowboys beat the Chiefs. Chiefs look like they're not going to make the playoffs now. Cowboys look like if you mess around and let them in that they could win it all. And Tyler Booker had such a big game yesterday against that Kansas City Chiefs front. Book was eating. They even ate the turkey afterward.
Yeah, a really good performance. I did not mind seeing the Chiefs lose because even Pat Mahomes said it after the game, we're going to have to win out in order to get back to the postseason. But Dallas is not only is this offense clicking, and CeeDee Lamb had a big game yesterday, obviously with Pickens and Javonte Williams running it, Dak Prescott in his 10th year playing the best football he's ever played, and their defense has really rounded into shape, and Quentin Williams is such a big part of that.
He is. He's played tremendous since being acquired at the trade deadline. Let's talk about the games with Todd Fuhrman, CBS Sports, former odds maker at Caesars Palace, and follows everything in college football and the NFL as Ole Miss is up 14-7 on State. We'll get Fuhrman's thoughts on the remainder of that game as well. We do a live play with Fuhrman. Todd, welcome in, man. How are you today?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Black Friday, and this is no doubt a rarity when we have live college football unfolding before our very eyes when we're on the air together.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare. Ole Miss is up 14-7. It would be an easy time for you to say, boy, I really liked Ole Miss in the first quarter line in this game or something like that. But what was your thought going into this game?
I really didn't have a strong feel. I thought the number was a little bit short when you looked at the price based on pure power numbers. But given all the distractions and the storylines brewing for this game, it made the handicap a little bit tougher to try and navigate through. But we did see Ole Miss on a lot of the look-ahead numbers, upwards of 8.5, 9. You got a lot of folks that wanted to rally behind this team potentially quitting in a game of this magnitude. Number got as low as 6.5, albeit that price didn't stick around long. And we'll call 7 kind of that consensus tag. But if the first couple drives are any indication, if you missed the number that you wanted early, you may get an opportunity to enter this game multiple times live, given that it's defense optional, at least through the first 11 minutes down there in Starkville today.
There's one game going on as we speak as well, Utah and Kansas, and the point spread there. Utah trying to keep their outside hopes of a college football playoff bid alive. How do you see that game finishing up, Fuhrman?
Look, this Utah defense was an extreme disappointment last week. It felt like everybody not named Darren Sproles, mainly because he's out of eligibility, was able to run for 100 yards against that Utes defensive front. The problem for Kansas, at least through the first quarter, and one of the concerns they had coming into the game was how that offensive line was going to hold up if Utah was a little bit more focused and entrenched. I've been high on Utah for long stretches this season, but the idea that the Utes have a resume and or even a path to the college football playoff, barring a conference championship, felt like a pie-in-the-sky type approach. I mean, Utah has fallen flat with the multiple games that they've had against the upper echelon of the Big 12. I mean, outgained BYU earlier this season, were dominated in their own building by Texas Tech. So in my opinion, Utah is a good team, but not one that's worthy of playoff consideration unless they, of course, get the automatic bid and win the conference championship game somehow.
Nobody's got more momentum than Georgia right now, and this number goes from 11.5. It opens all the way to 15.5. Not only are they winning, they are covering 5-2 their last 7 out against the number. And on the other side, Georgia Tech has lost 2 of 3 straight up outright. I would assume that you are laying the big number here.
This was a game that I think the market did a good job kind of correcting itself. Well, we know the perception around Georgia Tech has always been they thrive when they're installed as an underdog. And in the past, they've had a ground game that was capable of keeping Georgia's offense on the sidelines, limiting possessions, and being able to hang around. But this Georgia Tech edition, as we saw last weekend against Pittsburgh, in over their heads. You hate to see a player that's meant as much to a program as Haynes King go out that way, getting into a 28-0 deficit. But Georgia Tech defensively had been flirting with disaster for long stretches. I think the writing was on the wall when you see them give up 500 yards against Boston College that I didn't think was possible since Matt Ryan was under center in Chestnut Hill. But that's exactly what we saw. In this game here, it's a question of if Georgia wants to win by margin, there is no doubt a path for them to win this game by 3 touchdowns plus. The hard part is, as we sit here on game day, number blew through that 14. And I do think if we get out to 17, you're going to see a little bit of resistance in favor of the Yellow Jackets, who have had inferior teams in the past and have gone out there and covered as double-digit dogs when they step up in class. But you're exactly right. Georgia's trajectory is significantly better, and this is a team, no doubt, that not anyone in the country is going to want to see in their draw when it comes to the college football playoff field getting revealed next weekend.
Todd Fuhrman is with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline, former odds maker, Caesars Palace, CBS Sports. He talks about the point spreads and what to expect in all these games when he joins us each week. Let's talk about the Lone Star Showdown tonight. Texas A&M at Texas, and this is a significant game for A&M. If they win, they go to Atlanta for the first time ever. They are currently 2.5-point favorites in Austin. Dunaway was just telling Lance, felt like it should be maybe a little bit smaller than that. Why is this game on the road against a Texas team that's been in better form lately, A&M favored by 2.5?
Good amount of public support that we've seen come in, even some threes starting to pop up on game day. My number's kind of right in line, 2.5, 3. Where I think this should have been priced. The biggest concern I have, and the reason that I didn't get to Texas as a home underdog yet, is what I've seen from this team defensively over the last couple of weeks. I mean, gave up 38 points against Mississippi State, gave up 30-plus against Vandy, although that should come with an asterisk, knowing that the Commodores did most of their damage in garbage time in the fourth quarter, gave up 35 on the road in Athens, and then, of course, last weekend, a good old-fashioned track meeting at home against Arkansas. So this Texas defense that was the strength of the football team coming into the year and early on in the campaign while the offense wasn't able to get footing appears to be taking on water. In steps an A&M team that's going to be a little bit more dynamic with the run-throw options that are at Marcel Reed's disposal. I'm actually a proponent of going over the total. I know it's not the best of the number. 51.5 are out there earlier in the week. But at 52.5, you lose a little bit of juice, but not enough to keep me on the sidelines there. I think both these offenses will have success. And even if Texas wins the game, I'm going to tell you guys that my feeling is at 9-3, they're not worthy of playoff consideration either. Hard for me to make a compelling case for a team that got boat raced by Florida in Gainesville, relatively speaking, earlier this year, needed a limp through Kentucky and Mississippi State. And the last data point that we thought Texas could hang their hat on, a 25-point loss in Athens. So even at 9-3 with an upset of A&M today, I think Texas finds themselves on the outside looking into the 12-team field.
We're in Auburn today with our friends at Moe's Barbecue and Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. A live packed house here as we watch football and talk about games like the big one 9 blocks away approximately at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Alabama 5.5 on the road to play Auburn with everything on the line for Alabama, Furman. 5
straight meetings that the Alabama Crimson Tide have taken care of business against their in-state rivals, with the last loss coming back in 2019, as you guys know all too well. The longest winning streak in the Iron Bowl since the mid-'70s, where Alabama was able to rattle off 9 straight victories back then. This is an Auburn team that can play loose and free, and as we've seen in the past, especially at night, Jordan-Hare, that is a dangerous proposition for an Alabama team that has all the pressure in the world on their shoulders. My biggest concern with Alabama in this kind of atmosphere and expecting them to win by margin, you guys see the Crimson Tide on a weekly basis, as we all do. They haven't been able to run the football. And that poses some major problems, not because I really love what I see in the back end of this Auburn defense, but if you don't have to worry about stopping the run for a defensive line as talented as what we're going to see on display from the Tigers, they're going to be able to pin their ears back and come after Ty Simpson. You know, my number on this game is a little bit shorter. I'm more in that 4.5 range, so with this number sitting at 6, Auburn is the only way that I can look. But I also think the total is a touch low, given some of the defensive shortcomings I see for both of these teams. let's see how creative Auburn gets with the proverbial kitchen sink game, how the quarterback rotation will unfold as well. But I think we could be in store for a slightly higher scoring game than this total at 46.5 suggests between these two teams. And I think Auburn is an extremely live underdog. So pucker up, Alabama fans. It's going to be a 4-quarter fight. And I just don't see a scenario where the Tide really run away and hide tomorrow night.
Extremely live underdog is the way Fuhrman just described the Auburn Tigers in this game. And you touched on, there were just a couple things I wanted to ask you about on this, but the first one you touched on, and I want you to maybe comment a little bit more, the defensive deficiencies you see. You think the total is a little bit too low. A lot of people would look at this game and say, Auburn's defense is definitely their best unit, and over the last month, Alabama's defense has been their best unit.
So my big thing with Auburn is I've questioned this secondary all season long, and they don't see receivers, even in the SEC, as talented as what they're going to encounter tomorrow. From an Alabama passing attack that hasn't exactly been at its best down the stretch, but at the same time, they're still more than capable of hitting the explosives. And if they can force Auburn a little bit out of their comfort zone, or on the flip side of things, if Auburn forces Alabama to chase, I think there's a couple of pathways for this game to come in over the total. Yes, I know we look at Auburn over the last month or so. You, of course, have that 10-3 game against Kentucky. But at the same time, they return a track meet performance offensively against Vandy. We saw them hang a crooked number against Mercer, which, of course, comes with an asterisk as well. But I think they're going to be able to have some success moving the football against Alabama. And look, for a total this low sitting in the mid-40s, asking both these teams to get into the low 20s before there's a little bit of chaos doesn't feel like that big a reach. I know there was a sharp buy, guys, that came in under the total when it opened at 48 early in the week. But for me, I'm going to wait this out as long as possible. I'd love an opportunity to take a full position to go over the total at 45 if it dipped that low.
More questions from Lance Fuhrman, but I do want to give our audience and those here at Moe's a little developing story. Pete Thamel is reporting that Tulane coach Jon Sumrall will make a decision on his coaching future Sunday morning. So he's not going to hold this out any longer. Sunday morning, he's expected to choose between staying at Tulane, which I think is a long shot right now, and his outside opportunities, which have included significant interest, and this is the order Thamel puts it in, Florida and Auburn. So Sumrall, according to Pete Thamel, will make his decision Sunday morning.
But he does not mention Ole Miss, which is interesting because I think if Kiffin makes his decision, as many think tomorrow, then Ole Miss will be open that would also have interest in Sumrall. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, I would agree. Fuhrman, traditionally, I just Thanksgiving has been really, really difficult. Yesterday was a really good day, but I did have that over Bengals Ravens last night. I don't know where you were on that total, but that was one of the more painful totals that I have missed on, I think, ever.
A lot of points left on the board there with the Isaiah Likely fumble going into the score, the offensive pass interference on Zay Flowers, and countless drives early on in that first half of the Bengals offense when they were settling for field goals when they should have been 7. So can understand some of your pain and aggravation there. I was actually surprised in that game. I had a bad number on the Cincinnati Bengals. Took them 7.5, watched that game close 8. But the Ravens continue to get bet, and I've been underwhelmed with their performance despite the win streak that came to a screeching halt last night about how that team has looked on the offensive side. But when you can't move it against the Bengals, major red flags, and we'll see if they look any better when we see them on the field again next weekend. For the other games, though, to your point, LT, Book's thrilled with the results. Not necessarily the first two games coming in over the total, but being able to get both underdogs home, most notably the Green Bay Packers winning outright against the Lions, as Detroit was the most public side of the 6 that we saw on the board yesterday. Hey, one last thing, guys, too, on the coaching search as it pertains to Jon Sumrall and where he'll end up. Nothing says college football in this day and age than 2 American athletic conference teams playing for a championship, most likely Tulane and North Texas. With head coaches headed to new programs, at least we know Eric Morris is going to stick around if they make the playoff before an at-large bid is at stake. They have to do something about this college football calendar and figure it all out, because the last thing I think any of us want are lame duck coaches going into a playoff where all 12 of those seats at the table are so highly coveted.
Hey, Fuhrman, when you're looking at NFL futures, as far as making the postseason, 3 teams that played yesterday, that Kansas City-Dallas game, and then the Ravens, those 3 teams to get to the postseason, where are those numbers right now? What are you thinking?
I think it would surprise some people when you're looking at the yes-no playoff price on Kansas City that they're hovering right around a pick 'em. Some books upwards of minus $1.20. I'll take the asymmetric risk approach that if you think Kansas City does get into the playoff and figures it out despite mounting injuries along the offensive line, you're probably better served to make a slight case to bet them at 7-1 to win the AFC. because we've seen this before from the Chiefs. They're limp to the finish of the regular season, but always find that next gear to try and crank things into overdrive. And in terms of the Baltimore Ravens, still overwhelming favorites, right around minus $1.80 to make the postseason. And that's largely because the path still exists for them to win the division. And the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't exactly been a juggernaut on either the offensive or defensive side. But suddenly the AFC gets that much more intriguing as well. Daniel Jones dealing with a lower body injury. We're not exactly sure of the severity. And if you're looking for a little bit of a long shot, maybe to win the division or get into the playoffs, I think the Houston Texans trending in the right direction at the right time. If they're able to beat the Colts on Sunday and follow that up with a win on Sunday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs, we're going to be talking about C.J. Stroud doing just enough behind arguably the best defense in the entire AFC.
All right, he is Todd Fuhrman. CBSSports.com is where you find him and all his thoughts on the game. The former odds maker at Caesars Palace breaks down all the games with us every single Friday. Fuhrman, we appreciate it. Enjoy Rivalry Weekend, my man.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. I am jealous that you guys are in the belly of the beast for everything that's at stake tomorrow night at Jordan-Hare. Should be one hell of a football game for college football fans far and wide to see the Iron Bowl.
I love it, man. Look forward to it. Thank you, buddy. Have a great weekend. All right, Todd Fuhrman with us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline as we continue from the belly of the beast, as he says.
We'll hear from DJ Durkin in just a second after we hear about a couple of our great sponsors. One of those is our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa, LT.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, you can give the gift of relaxation. Black Friday, a lot of people out there shopping. Guys never want to go shopping. You want to do it right there at your fingertips online. You can do it. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. You can order the gift that keeps giving, the gift of relaxation. Let them choose from a menu of over 70 options: massages, body massages, the skincare, nail services. They've got it all right there. Located at the Summit Shopping Centers. Get in, see Stewart and the great staff. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, Birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Hey, and if you want a bank that actually gets you, Central State Bank is that bank. They've got 6 locations across Shelby County and 1 in Alexander City, so they help everyone in Central Alabama right where you need them to be, whether you're running a business, buying your dream car, or you just want a bank that remembers your name. Central State Bank has you covered. For more than 100 years, built trust by staying true to what matters. That's personal service, local decisions, and lasting relationships. Proud to be large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. They are rooted in community, driven by relationships. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Ole Miss just missed a shorter field goal attempt. So it's Ole Miss 14, Mississippi State 7, 14-10 to go. Second quarter at the Egg Bowl, ongoing with Lane Kiffin's decision still up in the air. And we'll find out after the game where Lane's going to coach next year or if he's going to stay at Ole Miss. Meanwhile, the game down the road with Alabama and Auburn. Everybody's loved DJ Durkin's offensive output since he's taken over as head coach. Concern has been the numbers the defense has put up since DJ took over, doing both the head coach and the defensive coordinator role. Here's the Auburn interim head coach on juggling both jobs.
Since you've been interim head coach, can you talk about the things you've learned about maybe balancing the big picture stuff with also calling a really good defense and how you plan to do that in the Iron Bowl?
Yeah, I think, it's as we've gotten further and further removed from when it first happened, it's slowed down a little bit for me. It's a lot like anything else when you start something new. So that first week there's a lot of things coming at you to just get set in place, and everyone wants to come talk to you about whatever their area is and in the right way. Like, okay, coach, how do you want this done? What do you want? So it's a lot of conversations, decisions that distract from other things. As we keep getting further and further from that moment, I think things kind of slow down. People, everyone understands in the building of how we want things done, and it allows me to get back more to being the defensive coordinator and going through game plan and making a lot of those decisions.
It seems like everyone's loved the look of DJ Durkin taking over for Hugh Freeze down the stretch. And it seems like the team's playing better. Lance, you first.
Yeah, I mean, look, the offense definitely is. The defense has become kind of a question mark. They could easily be 2-0 in this stretch. They could have easily beaten Vanderbilt. I'm just interested to see, you mentioned how bad the pass defense is. Rush defense really good.
Yeah.
Would you guys, if I put the over-under Alabama rushing yards at 98.5?
Oh, I'll take the under.
Take the under, but it's a little bit like what we talked about going into Oklahoma. They don't run the ball well against anybody. So I don't know that you could be the number 1 rush defense are the number 100 rush defense. Alabama's struggled to run against all of them.
You know, the interesting thing, though, in Kalen DeBoer's tenure at Alabama, when they rush for 100 yards plus in 15 games, what do you think their record is?
Since you gave us the number 15, I'm going to say 15-0.
It's 15-0.
Yeah,
pretty good. It wouldn't surprise me if they get some good runs, but like he just said, they don't run the ball.
Yeah.
It's not part of their game plan. They're not going to try to run the ball a lot. So that sort of takes away what Auburn does best. They're going to sit back, and it's going to be all about pass protection. Can they protect Ty Simpson? Simpson will eat them alive if he's not pressured. Problem is, Auburn can really get after you just like Oklahoma did.
Yeah,
that's
you saw
what
that.
the turnover.
And Missouri, that was why that game was so scary. Missouri was able to get after them. And, you know, if Keldrick Falk has a game, you know.
Well, and Alabama has struggled on the right side of that offensive line protecting the passer specifically. Carroll is a freshman, and a freshman in the environment. This will be the toughest environment he's had to play a game in. Communication becomes an issue. You're out there on that island on the right side, sometimes without any tight end to help you out. And you've got a pass rusher right across from you.
And now you don't have Cuevas, who's used to be back there with the pass, the communication with the new tight end back there trying to help out.
A lot of factors there on that right side, and they've moved Formby into the guard a lot of times. I assume that's where they'll keep going.
I expect it to still be Formby at guard. The running backs have gotten worse at helping protect the quarterback. So, you know, when you're trying to help protect on the edge, one way you do it's an extra with a tight end over there. That guy's out, so it's a different guy there. And then running backs, and the running backs have been declining. So that's the concern. That's where the game is.
100%.
Isn't Alabama running? It's can Alabama protect against them? Michelson Laser Vision viewing menu on what Lance and Tyler are watching this holiday weekend, and then we'll get back to sports in a second. What about Michelson?
205-969-8100, the number I called way back in 2003. Had the 2200 vision, was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, 2015 vision better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round, Cynthia. They are going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
All right. First off, for new releases, we've got a new release in the theater called Hamnet. William Shakespeare and his wife Agnes celebrate the birth of their son, Hamnet. However, when tragedy strikes and Hamnet dies at a young age, it inspires Shakespeare to write his timeless masterpiece, Hamlet. I'm not a big Shakespeare guy, but for those people who are, this might be a good movie for them, one they can really appreciate. I won't be there,
I
though.
like Shakespeare in Love. I've seen the previews for this. Doesn't really excite me. My question to you, because I did reach out to you a couple of days ago, Tyler, did you finally watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I did. It was very, very funny. I will definitely revisit it.
Yeah, I watched it again when Brown dropped me off from trivia Wednesday night. Everybody shut it down early. I stayed up by myself and watched it, and it was as funny as it's ever been.
Yeah, I could see different scenes in that movie that more recent movies were referencing in their movie, like the mess around scene when John Candy's driving and he flicks the cigarette in the backseat. Ted 2 recreated that back in like 2015. So even all these years later, something like that is still funny and still can bring laughs. I'll definitely watch that again next Thanksgiving. Also on Netflix, we've got a new documentary called The Stringer, The Man Who Took the Photo. A photo editor's 52-year-old secret sparks a 2-year investigation into one of the Vietnam War's most famous images. So if you're into the sort of investigative journalism that's been real popular in recent years, where people will track down people in famous photos. Recently, someone tracked down everybody that was in the photo in The Shining, in the ballroom photo of the hotel. And it's crazy the work that people will put in to get these answers. So if that interests you, that's on Netflix. And then, as I mentioned the other day, over this weekend, I will be watching the Criterion Collection version of Seven Samurai. It's also available on HBO Max. and it centers around a samurai answering a village's request for protection after he falls on hard times. The town needs protection from bandits, so the samurai gathers 6 others to help him teach the people how to defend themselves, and the villagers provide the soldiers with food. A giant battle occurs when 40 bandits attack the village, and it's directed by Akira Kurosawa. And this film is absolutely beautiful. Kurosawa uses movement and shots to make everything feel very dynamic, and each shot feels alive. And it's a masterclass in cinematography.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people believe Kurosawa the greatest director of all time.
How about that?
Definitely in the conversation.
Yeah.
All right. That's what Tyler and LT are watching this weekend, brought to you by our friends at Michelson. 1 hour is down here at Moe's Barbecue. All the Auburn, Alabama discussion you want, brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And our show brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club, LT.
The Inverness Country Club, they've got memberships that fit everyone. If you're looking for a great holiday gift for the entire family, the social membership, the golf membership, childcare, big plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club? Well, they watch your kid. Best days happen at the Inverness Country Club. To take a tour and to learn more about the Inverness Country Club, ICCalabama.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just non-stop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the next round anywhere with nextround.store.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 from Moe's Barbecue in Auburn before the big game, a little over 24 hours away. 6:30 tomorrow night under the lights at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. 4 downs a little bit later on this hour. We'll do our spotlights, a couple of headlines way too early. Bret Eddins on the show before we're done here today, downtown Auburn. Thanks to our great friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This hour being brought to you in part, though, by our friends at Culver's Brownie.
Culver's, welcome to Delicious. If you are out at a football game, whether your team wins or loses, Culver's is the place to go celebrate, or maybe just, kind of forget about it if they've lost. Either way, make sure you go to Culver's and you can enjoy those great butter burgers, those creamy frozen custards, the crispy crinkle cut fries, the gooey golden cheese curds. Something for everyone in your crew to enjoy. Win or lose, Culver's is the perfect place to celebrate the sweet memories you'll make all season long. So, in Birmingham, stop by the Culver's on Stadium Trace or Tattersall Park and make this game day delicious. Culver's, welcome to the Delicious.
In the second half against Oklahoma, Alabama changed long snappers. Rozier's in. He was the long snapper against Eastern Illinois the entire game. You expect him to be the starting long snapper for extra points and field goals coming up. But Connor Talty is still your kicker of record. Here is Kalen DeBoer on how the teammates are handling the struggling Alabama place kicker before the nightmare of all nightmare scenarios, an Iron Bowl kick that comes down to an Alabama field goal attempt. Here's Alabama's head coach.
Coach, after the game on Saturday, I know you told us that players have had Connor Talty's back after the last couple of misses. How have you seen them react over the course of the last few weeks when he's missed a field goal?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was probably just everyone in general. You're always, you're human, right? And so people are going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And then, it's the response and the things that he did. Well, he made it right with his teammates. He talked to them. And that's what we can do. We move on, and we right the wrongs, and now we just focus on what we can do, and that's go be your best. And that's what he does in practice. And again, when I say our guy's got his back, I've seen players, myself have reaction to things that you don't like on the field, off the field, whatever it might be, things we want back. And once it's done, you don't. All you can do is make sure you communicate, talk to the people that it affected, and continue to move on. And so he had a great week of practice last week. He's still really hitting the ball well, and just going to keep working. And, we're going to need him throughout the rest of the year. And I know he's going to give everything. He cares about this team a lot.
More concerned, Alabama's run game or Alabama's place kicking for you in this game?
Yeah, I would go kicking. We had Corey Reamer on Bama and Bourbon, the former Alabama linebacker, part of the Alabama broadcast team. Very interesting perspective when I brought up the uncomfortable topic that is Salty right now and the scenario of him coming in there for a potential 35 to 40-yard, game-winning field goal. And he said he's just overthinking everything. It's one of those, he's like, kickers really need to just focus on where that spot is and just kicking the ball. But now he's worried about where the snap is, where, how the snap is, how the hold is. And he's just, everything's in his head right now. So I don't think anybody has any confidence at all in Talty. And that's a scary proposition because as much as DeBoer likes to go for it, if it's a 4th and 7 for a, 35-yard field goal to win the game, they're going to roll him out there.
Yeah, I remember standing on the field at Jordan-Hare Stadium during the 4 overtime Iron Bowl, 2 Iron Bowls ago here at Jordan-Hare, right? And Alabama had to make a fairly decent field goal in, I think it was the second overtime, and they were kicking into the student section. And just my vantage point, I had stayed on the other end because the first overtime was on that end, and I just didn't want to go all the way the length of the field. And I thought if they go to a third overtime, they'll come back to me. And so I'm standing behind the play, kind of looking. That is just such an intimidating look. I can't really describe it properly, but it's just intimidating. And those goalposts almost get lost in the sea of fans, and the fans are going nuts, and they're it's so loud. I can't imagine, even when things are going well in an environment like Jordan-Hare, or if you're a road team at Bryant-Denny or Neyland, even when things are going well, man, that has got to be the loneliest feeling in the world.
You guys play a ton of golf. Yeah. And if it gets in your head with the putting, you miss 2 or 3, and you're playing, whether it's a $5 money game or you got $100 on the putt, and it's a 3-footer, one that, if you're by yourself, you probably make 99 out of 100 times. But if it gets in your head,
it could take you months to get it right again.
Yeah.
Months. Once you lose it, whether it's driving or putting, kicking, whatever it is, throw in the football. I mean, they're quarterbacks. They get into rhythms where they're all of a sudden they're doing things wrong. They can't get it back. It can take months at times.
Yeah,
and baseball pitchers can lose it, throwing the ball from second to first base. Hitters go in these long slumps, and that's where Talty is right now. And that's the scary proposition, that you don't have really a plan B apparently.
And real quick, back to the 4th and 3 and 4th and 4s. I don't know how confident Ty Simpson is right now.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think, fourth down's always going to be a defensive advantage, almost always. But I think certainly in this game, Auburn has got an advantage when Alabama is in plus territory and they've got 4th and 3 or 4, because I think DeBoer, the decisions aren't amazing right now, because to Lance's point, earlier in the season, you'd have felt great about it. But the way Alabama's offense has been of late, you don't feel amazing about that, and you can't kick. I think you got to go. I don't know how big an analytics guy Kalen DeBoer is, but the analytics have to factor into this when you factor in how bad you've been in the kicking game. I think unless they're inside the 25, don't you think it's green light, go for it?
I think
you think it's deeper than that?
Oh, I think it's green light, go for it anywhere. Yeah. So when you're not punting,
Right. I'm saying it in a go or kick situation, go or kick a field goal. You think it's green light all over the field.
Even in the NFL where it's automatic, they're going for it.
Oh, they did, Dan Campbell yesterday did it.
And it's funny you bring up Campbell, because when it works, everybody's like, man, that is awesome. But when it doesn't work, it can look so bad, because that 4th and 4 from midfield, kind of early in the game, they go for it, don't get it, very next play, up top, touchdown.
Well, another thing, the 2 pass backs or throwbacks to the quarterback, they look silly too, because neither one of them worked. Last year, it worked every time. With a great offensive coordinator. Same play, same players. And Dan Campbell calling it doesn't work. So they didn't trust him.
Yeah, so that's interesting to me with you. You're saying once I cross the 50, if I'm Alabama, I am green light go.
It's either punt or green light go. And I think that's something Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb have often done anyway.
Yeah, they are aggressive on 4th down. Yeah, I would agree.
Opening drive against Oklahoma, they're in field goal range, but they never hesitated. They ran it 3 times and didn't get a yard, but they ran it and they went for it without hesitation. Yeah. And I think they will continue to go no hesitation. 4th down tomorrow night.
I was a little surprised Fuhrman said this, because this feels like a lower scoring game today and tomorrow. And Fuhrman said he felt like the over was in play. I don't know. Both of you, do you think low scoring or higher scoring?
I don't look at what the totals is.
What's the total? 46.5, I think 45.5.
Yeah, I said on Wednesday, I don't think Auburn, if Alabama scores 28 plus, I think Auburn's in trouble. I think it is interesting, because, you brought up the fact how good the offense has looked in the 2 games under DJ Durkin, but the defense on the other side hasn't been very good. So, what gives here?
I'll take Alabama 27-21 as 48.
So you like the over?
Yeah, so that's over. Yeah.
You, Lance?
27-21.
I won't give my side yet.
All right.
But I think it's like
46.5 is the official.
I think it's like 23-21.
Kicking has been hot and cold. If you're heating and cooling not running right, or if your plumbing's not draining right, our friends at Hemphill can help you out.
Oh, they are the best in the business. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for any and all of these issues, home or business. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
And our Bojangles tender moment of the day, Brownie.
Yeah, that is always presented by Bojangles. You can make it bow time, whether it's the holiday party. They'll cater that for you, whether it is a high school football tailgate, if your team's fortunate enough to still be alive tonight, or maybe a college football watch party, or if you're coming down here to Auburn to tailgate, Bojangles has it. That holiday party can be so unique with those great hand-breaded chicken tenders, those bow bites, the great sides, the biscuits, the sweet tea from Bojangles, whether it is breakfast tomorrow morning, lunch, dinner, the great tailgate parties, or football watch parties. Make it Bojangles. It can always be bow time.
Last night, if you happen to do some Black Friday shopping on the Nike website, if you clicked on Nike.com, the cover photo, Cam Coleman tossing a football in Nike gear. That was around the country, around the world. If you're at Nike.com, there's the Auburn receiver, Nike relationship. I guess he's NIL money for a little Nike money there.
That's good money.
Yeah, well, if they're smart, Oregon, they didn't have a lot of consistency at receiver this year. If Oregon's smart.
Yes, you know where that money comes from. So,
I'm just saying that was pretty cool last night. And if you were logging on to Nike.com, there is Cam Coleman, the Auburn receiver.
Yeah.
Where you can get your pregame gifts right there in the middle of Jordan-Hare.
One of the more puzzling things about this coaching transition for Auburn, one of the most puzzling things to me, has been how Cam Coleman was almost completely underutilized by Hugh Freeze, and you change to an interim coach, and all of a sudden he's got 20 targets in 2 games. Like, why was that an issue under Hugh Freeze, and now DJ Durkin takes over, and all of a sudden they're throwing to Cam Coleman all the time?
Yeah, and by the way,
it is a different quarterback.
A receiver like Cam Coleman can make a quarterback, even like Jackson Arnold that was struggling, much better.
Yeah.
I mean, his catch radius, the degree of difficulty on some of his grabs are just next level. It is absolutely baffling. It's coaching malpractice, and it's one of the reasons Hugh Freeze is no longer Auburn's head coach.
Now, it is different quarterbacks, like I said, to be fair, Jim. But that's even more puzzling. Like, if you're Jackson Arnold, how are you not targeting Cam Coleman more?
Here is the battle of the quarterbacks now. How many will Auburn play tomorrow night? Will it be just Ashton Daniels? Could you see Jackson Arnold, or could you see Deuce make an appearance in this game? Kane Womack gets an opportunity now in our fractional financing sound of the day. Kane Womack talking about playing multiple quarterbacks. Here's Kane.
What the challenges are of maybe game planning and watching extra film of several quarterbacks.
Well, you certainly want to identify each of them, and are there things that one of them does that the other one does not? And there's certainly elements to, I thought Deuce had a really good game the other day. There's things maybe in the passing game that a young quarterback, they're not going to go maybe as farther down in some of the schematics that they're doing there. But at the same time, he did a really nice job of pulling the ball down. He ran all over the field there. When he got out in open field, he was able to, create the big explosive play. And I think rushed for 4 touchdowns, something like that. But for us, when you look at it structurally, I think they're doing the same thing. I think they have an identity of what they do and how they do it. And I don't think that changes with one quarterback to the next. But you certainly want to be mindful of what each quarterback does well. And, like anything, you try to identify those things, and then you try to make a play left-handed, or in Ashton's case, right-handed, So
that's not a big variant in what they do there. They're sort of doing the same things, all 3 of them, just ones do better than the others at certain things.
Well, I will say one of the singular most surprising performances of the entire college football season was Auburn's offense against Vanderbilt. I did not see that coming.
Nobody did.
Nobody saw that coming. They had switched to Ashton Daniels, who couldn't beat out Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, and by the way, if Ashton Daniels plays like that all year, he's in New York.
Oh, absolutely. And Ashton Daniels lays down one of the best quarterback games Auburn has had in quite a while. I don't know how close he can come to replicating that. That's not like that's a crap Vandy defense. They haven't been great lately, but they've been good most of the year, and Clark Lee's a good defensive coach. If he comes anywhere close to replicating that Saturday night, tomorrow night over at Jordan-Hare, that's Alabama's in some serious trouble.
Real quick on Kane Womack. You guys have probably heard this. there were some Arkansas insiders that are like, he's the favorite now.
Yeah, we talked about it on Wednesday. He's the favorite to get the job, and we're waiting to.
I mean, so Jamarcus Shepard, Oregon State, Kane Womack, Arkansas, possibly Ryan Grubb, possibly Washington. I mean,
but Golish is, I think, the favorite to get the Arkansas job, and then if it's not Golish, then it's
there's one guy.
But I've heard Golish is really interested in Ole Miss.
There's one reporter in Arkansas that's reporting the Golish thing is a done deal. But I think if you're Golish, you've got to tap the brakes right now because Ole Miss could come open, or likely will come open. Florida does not appear to have a rock solid candidate right now. And then you got Arkansas. I mean, I think if I'm Golish, I just kind of tap the brakes and see what happens here.
Yeah. So, and or LSU, one of those. It's either Ole Miss or LSU.
As I talk about this, I'm assuming Lane Kiffin's coaching LSU next year. Maybe it may be a bad assumption on my part, but that is certainly my assumption.
Our friends at Fractional Financial. Look, if you've got a small to mid-sized business right here in Alabama, Georgia, East Tennessee, or the Carolinas, you're looking for that CFO service designed for businesses that need expertise, call our friend Rod Smallwood at Fractional Financial. Rod and his team provide expertise in cash management, budgets and projections, accounting, payroll, and annual reports. Fractional Financial does it all. Not your typical contract CFO service. Fractional Financial works with clients face-to-face so they can make those informed, data-driven decisions to get that business to the next level. Call them today, Rod and his team, 704-614-2083. That's 704-614-2083, or visit them online, fractionalfinancial.net.
And before we get to our four downs today, since we've done the show, the availability reports have come out a couple of times now, and Josh Cuevas is out. Not doubtful, not questionable, not probable. He is out. Alabama's do everything tight end, multiple catches in every game, led the team in receptions in the Oklahoma game. He's the ultimate security blanket for Ty Simpson, and he is out.
There are times where I felt like, he was Alabama's maybe second or third best receiver, depending on where you had Ryan Williams at that given moment of time, or Lottie Brooks or whoever you might have in the mix. This is a significant loss for Alabama. He is the ultimate security blanket for Ty Simpson. He's a difficult matchup for defenders because he's a big athletic tight end. I mean, it's hard for linebackers or safeties to cover this guy.
One thing, when you don't have a running game, a lot of teams rely on their tight end.
Yeah.
Is that check down and a different option out there. So inability to run the football, best option as a security blanket and tight end, obviously Cuevas. That is a huge loss.
By the way, in the Egg Bowl, they've just gone last chance you, and they just had a bench clearing brawl here. You'll see the replay here and the hits on Trinidad Chambliss and some altercations going on, hitting guys on the line, and then there were punches thrown, and the referees are deciding who's going to be ejected from the game now.
Well, that's a clean hit on Trinidad Chambliss. I don't know.
I thought maybe he went low, but he didn't. Yeah. By the way, this has turned into a graveyard. This thing looked like it was going to be an absolute shootout.
No.
And you've got, a quarter of game time that they haven't scored a point.
So, Michael, one of our audience members, was commenting to me during the break that unlike this game in Ohio State, Michigan, one thing you'll always say about the Iron Bowl, you don't see the fights in crowd. I mean, some guys, there may be some pushing after, but nothing like what they're working through.
I've always thought the Auburn and Alabama players respected each other more than the fans do.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And that's probably true of all the rivalries I just mentioned, though, even though Ohio State and Michigan fight a lot, and the Egg Bowl has more fights than you would think.
Yeah, and you got to get this under control quick.
I mean, you're still in the first half here.
Well, you'll get an ejection because there was at least one Mississippi State punch thrown. I don't know if there were Ole Miss punches thrown, but I saw at least one state guy throw a punch.
So you got the head official now on replay, so that means Birmingham is going through the film saying throw this guy and throw that guy.
Is that a fumble?
That's what they're looking at first. Is that a fumble? And I think it may be it.
And was it a clear recovery?
And who won the fight? We have many questions.
By the way, tough to do a show while watching a football game.
Yeah, well, I mean,
easier to drive watching football than do a show watching football.
We've done these before with just like live reaction to games. Yeah, boy, that thing got out of hand. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a punch, 92.
Yeah, there's another one near the end when they're separating.
Yeah,
that goes backwards, and those will come with automatic ejections.
That's right. And in the event, by the way, Ole Miss wins this game, Auburn wins the Iron Bowl, Texas wins tonight, Ole Miss is in the SEC Championship. That would carry over to the SEC Championship.
It carries over, I believe, into the
playoffs as well. Yeah,
I think so. Unless they,
I think
believe
it does.
Yeah.
So that could be significant. If you've got a fighting ejection, that's a carryover on the suspension. I don't think it matters if you're first half or second half. I still think it carries over. Like on targeting, if you're first half, you can play the start of the next game. I don't think in fighting you can.
I was about to say we're going to have a significant delay. It looks like they've already figured this
I
out.
know, yeah. So they may have no ejections here. It may just be the ruling on the field of a fumble or not. But
92 threw a punch right there.
There was another one near the end of a breakup, and I think maybe an Ole Miss guy threw a punch as well.
Yeah. Like Lance said.
Like Jeff Levy looks very happy with whatever's about to be called. Lane Kiffin does not.
Yeah, that's right. In a game like this, like Lance said, you've got to keep this under control. This snowballs very, very quickly if you don't lay down the law right now. So that's what the officials have to do. Fascinating development. 14-7. It's a good game. Lane Kiffin's future is in question. Now we got to fight everything in the Egg Bowl.
Brooks, if you'll give us a list of the ejections, if there is any, as we move forward here. 4 Downs today is going to be brought to you by our friends at Gray's Tree Service. If you've got some dead wood in your yard, as you move to 2026, nobody cleans it up better than our friends at Gray's.
Yeah, they are the best. Founded 30 years ago, family-owned, community-based, over 80 employees, 24/7 emergency storm services, free estimates on all their services, from removal, trimming, health. You care for your lawn, care for your trees as well. You can scan that QR code right there. Go to graystree.com for more information.
First down.
Oh, let's go with this. More likely, Georgia Tech over Georgia or LSU over Oklahoma?
LSU over Oklahoma is the best chance for me, Brown.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Though Georgia Tech did everything but beat Georgia last year in Athens, and now this game is at more of a neutral site. It's a Georgia Tech home game at Mercedes-Benz, but that's easier than playing in Athens.
You go back to Halloween, you would have been like, man, Georgia's going to have their hands full.
No, there's no doubt.
But this is like the worst, the worst potential timing of this game for Georgia Tech.
I still haven't got the hand motions right. These two teams cross. Their ships crossing right.
I agree with you guys, though. I do think LSU's defense with that awful Oklahoma offense can keep them right there. It's a lot of points, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one turnover, Jim. I mean, a scoop and score, a pick six could decide that game very, very easily. I mean, that could make it like a 17-10 game.
Anytime you can't score points, games are going to be close. I lived through all the Gene Stallings years. Before we move to second down, did they go no ejections at all? Because I never saw the referee. Yeah. They did a couple of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, but there were no thumb motions for ejections, which is mind-boggling when you had punches thrown.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Now, I do think you can do that in review. Like the conference office, I think, can go back and look at that for whatever might be in front of Ole Miss.
I mean, could they clean it up at halftime?
I don't know if they can clean it up at halftime. They used to be able to do that with targeting ejections. I don't know where we stand on that anymore, but I do think they can do it in post-game review and make it effective for the next Ole Miss game.
Yeah, State's next meaningful game, whatever, 20 whatever.
Yeah.
But for Ole Miss, they have big meaningful games still to come.
Yeah.
See if this fires up Mississippi State. They're down 14-7. Let's do second down.
Second down.
If I put the over-under at total quarterbacks that throw a pass tomorrow night in Jordan-Hare at 2.5.
So I don't get credit for like a Jeremy Bernard wide receiver passes, which Alabama has tried to make work.
Legitimate quarterbacks throwing a pass.
So we're counting both teams, obviously.
Yep. And you put the over-under at what?
2.5.
I'm gonna play against Deuce Knight throwing the ball if he is in the game at all, and I'm gonna take 2 here, Jim. I'll take the under.
You know, what's funny that nobody ever says, man, Austin Mack looked really good when he came in.
What, did he?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Nobody ever says.
Oh, I spoke to an Alabama fan the other night.
Now, don't do this.
They were drinking. No, they were drinking. I'm going to tell you this. It was at Odie's, and he was like, I think Ty Simpson's probably number 3 of the 3 quarterbacks. And I'm like,
I mean, my gosh.
Yeah. That's where we are right now.
Ironically, Mel Kiper has him number 3 too of all the quarterbacks that are going to be drafted next year. I'm going to stick at just 2. I don't think. I think it's Ashton and I think it's Ty start to finish.
Well, I'm with Brown. I do think Deuce will get on the field for maybe a play or so, but I don't think he'll throw a pass. So I'm with you guys. I would go under the 2.5 there.
Third down.
Okay, we probably have to pull this, but over under on top 10 teams that lose this weekend. If I put that number at 1.5, and I think there's 6 on the table that could lose, but I'm going to put it at 1.5. You guys tell me over or under.
Here's the top 10. Ohio State's at Michigan.
Losable.
Indiana's at Purdue.
Not losable.
Nope.
Texas A&M at Texas.
Very losable.
Georgia Tech neutral site Mercedes-Benz.
I don't feel it.
I don't either, but I didn't last year either, though. I mean, to be fair.
Oregon at Washington.
Very losable.
Ole Miss is playing Mississippi State as we speak.
Obviously losable.
Texas Tech at West Virginia.
No.
I think it's losable.
You really? I know it's your upset alert.
You're upset alert.
Past that. You don't believe in that.
I believe, man. Oklahoma hosting LSU.
Very losable.
Notre Dame is at Stanford.
Not losable.
Not losable.
And Alabama at Auburn.
Very losable. I think I had 6.
1, 2. I've got it at 3.
Only 3?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm putting it at 1.5. So do you think we're going to get 1? I think I would go over the 1.5.
I've talked myself into Texas winning tonight, so I think you could get 1 tonight. I mean, I've doubted A&M all year. The weird thing about it, would you say this is by far and away the best opponent A&M has played since Notre Dame?
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? That Notre Dame game was week 2.
I think you only get 1. It's Texas over A&M. I think the second one would be Auburn over Alabama. And then after that, Washington, Oregon. But I think you're really getting way down there now.
Well, I just want to let you know it's first down Mississippi State on the 23 going in.
So there's another one.
Not worried about it.
You're not worried about it?
Mississippi State's hanging on by a thread.
Worst, I mean,
or in this case, by a yoke.
You know, I told you before the game I didn't play it, but I did lean Ole Miss. And when they went up 7-0, like automatically within the first minute and a half, that's how they needed to have this game over at halftime.
Yeah.
Like Mississippi State scores here. If it's tied at halftime, boy, I'm telling you, Ole Miss loses this game, I think they're out. I know you guys don't.
Oh, no. Don't say you guys.
Okay.
Jim is the one that's fought against that. I think they have put their fate in the committee's hands.
Then the players will get in the locker room. They'll look at their phone real quick while they're eating their Lunchable. Or their, what's it called? The peanut butter chip.
Uncrustable.
Eating that, and they'll be like, hey, they're reporting that Lane's going to LSU, coach.
Oh, how bad would that be?
That would be horrible.
You got a halftime revolt?
It'd be a horrible second half.
I wish you'd give me a heads up if that's going to happen. I will jump on quickly.
Let's do 4th down.
4th down.
Judd Nelson, a.k.a. John Bender, 66 years old today. Favorite Brat Pack movie?
Oh,
I mean, mine's The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I was going to say Breakfast Club is going to be number 1.
See, I thought you might like St. Elmo's Fire better.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I love St. Elmo's Fire. I'll take St. Elmo's Fire to be different.
I'm not big on the Brat Pack. Give me the rundown.
I mean, Pretty in Pink. I mean, really, the
16 candles, Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, the true Brat Pack where you had more than 3. There were really only 2, St. Elmo's and Breakfast Club. But I mean, you could go The Outsiders because you got. I mean, there's a lot of different.
I've yet to see one of these movies you've mentioned. So.
I cannot believe you've never seen The Breakfast Club.
I started it on an airplane and decided to go to sleep instead. It was a long enough flight that I was going to be able to watch the whole movie, but then I was like, God, I'm pretty sleepy. I think I'll just go to sleep.
I think, John Hughes, for all the great work he did, his best writing, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
It's so good, holds up 40 years later.
What's the storyline in St. Elmo's Fire that doesn't fit? Emilio Estevez in love with that. He drives up to the cabin.
Oh, so stupid. He's like in a LeBaron with the wood paneling and no 4-wheel drive.
Doesn't fit the story.
She's getting worn out by some big lumberjack.
Hello, Moe's Barbecue today, live and off. On this, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to enjoy.
Hey, I see pictures of Bud Light. Not a pitcher of beer in forever.
Well, have at it, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I might. I mean, I don't know the last time. This shows you this is just a good college town where people are pounding out pitchers on a Friday morning. The last time, Dunaway, you did pitchers of beer because, that was popular back in the day.
I probably was at Pasquale's on Highway 31.
Or the Irish Deli after a softball game.
Yeah, back in the 80s, early 90s. Absolutely. All right. When we come back, we will do the headlines, way too early headlines.
That
LT, you got one. We'll do a different spotlight when we come back.
So you didn't do one either?
No. We'll tell you what we had for Thanksgiving as our spotlight today, and a lot more preview of Alabama and Auburn coming up on the other side of the show today, being brought to you by the great folks at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. They bring you the final hour of every show, but it's the lunch hour here today. I want to remind you, Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster is open for lunch today. Sterling and the crew with that piping piping hot chicken. It's cooked to order, brined overnight, hand-cut chicken fingers, perfect for your tailgating or when you're watching the big game at home. Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Back with you on the Next Round live today from Moe's Barbecue. You're going to tell us the best things to eat here. It's going to be our Shannara Spotlight. We're replacing the Thursday one at Great Game Day location.
We
here
can do
in a
that.
second.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to do this.
Look at this beer stein.
What's this?
Our friend.
Wait, don't steal the moment for a second.
Sorry, Will.
Didn't they used to do that commercials all the time back in the old days?
Yeah, you couldn't drink it, so you had to do something.
It's going to drip on you. It's going to drip on you.
They would always blow it out, the foam out. I'm going to get pulled over in Dadeville on the way home.
No doubt. Our friends from Anheuser-Busch bringing us these classic beer steins. They do one every Christmas since 1980. This is this year's.
Well, we did a couple of promotions with our friends at Folds of Honor. Remember, they brought the Clydesdales out.
Oh, yeah.
How impressive those things are in person.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an old school great mug.
Yep. Oh, I got to turn this back around. Scott's going to get on to me for not having everything
Thanks
centered.
to our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. I think I'm drinking straight up.
No,
Budweiser.
Yeah, you got Bud Heavy in there.
Yeah, Bud Heavy.
Hey, so
the red snapper, we used to call that at Buck Creek at Alabaster.
Is that what you call it?
Another red snapper.
So this will be the 31st time you've had an unranked Auburn team against a ranked Alabama team in the Iron Bowl. The previous 30, do you know the number?
I do.
So by the way, do you know the record of?
No, wait a minute.
The record of unranked Auburn teams in the Iron Bowl against ranked Alabama teams, 30 games.
Okay, so not losing record. This is unranked.
Because I know the losing record answer.
Okay. What's the number?
It's 30 games they've matched up when Auburn is unranked and Alabama has been ranked.
That is, they played 30 times. That is unranked Auburn against ranked Alabama. That is 10-20. 10-20.
Auburn is 10-20 in the
10 wins, 20 losses.
30 times. I'm going to say it's 8-22. Auburn is 8-22.
This does not bode well for the Auburn Tigers. 1-29.
Oof, even worse than we imagine.
No way. I grew up watching unranked Auburn battle Bear Bryant all the time.
I don't know. Well, how many of those did Auburn win?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, obviously.
One, apparently.
Yes. So
I had like a really peaceful 3-hour window, just me and the dogs, where people went different places yesterday.
Right.
And all I did was Iron Bowl notes. So I've got a lot of these little.
Do you have the number of Auburn losing record in the Iron Bowl? I don't know if you have that one because Jim was about to reference that.
Well, let's make that our Shannara spotlight today, brought to you by Alexander Shannara. And LT, just start reading your notes.
Yeah, let's just read some notes that you pulled. All right, so Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, Shannara.com. When you're in need of an attorney, you don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Alexander Shannara is a Birmingham guy, born and bred. I guarantee you he's going to be here at the Iron Bowl or watching it at the house. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. He has recovered more than $2 billion for his clients over the years, 25 years in Birmingham. Shannara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Shannara.com. Tyler, if you will, you don't have to hit the spotlight because it's going to say something we're not doing today. Lance is going to give us in the Shannara spotlight his nuggets from the Iron Bowl.
You know, I mentioned this on our Alabama News Center, so if you didn't see that, you didn't hear this. But the last time, I guess I did it on Bama and Bourbon too, the last time Alabama was a 5.5-point favorite in the Iron Bowl was the 2009 Greg McElroy comeback game. And that number hit right on 5 at 26-21.
Was that also the Tiger Woods game?
Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah.
I'd forgotten that part of it. I was in the press box. Yeah.
So
heads up, Tiger.
So what is Bryson DeChambeau going to do this weekend?
So the last time Alabama covered in Auburn in Jordan-Hare in this game.
Last time Alabama covered?
2011 got out of hand. 12, 13, 14 didn't get as much. 14 was.
I'm going to say Jake Coker's 15. 2015 Jake Coker.
I would say 15 or 11.
Yeah, you guys are right. Yeah. It was 2015 Jake Coker.
Derrick Henry.
What, Derrick Henry? Actually, you know what?
Do you know what DeBoer is?
That was a Derrick Henry garbage time touchdown to cover, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it was. And oh, my God. I had a complete come apart.
Oh, so you had Auburn?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was like Derrick Henry's 45th carry of the game.
Yeah, because my older brother Shane, who just left town this morning, but he was like, yeah. And I'm like, no, you don't know what you're doing, man. Y'all have already won the game. I needed to cover here. So DeBoer has played 10 true road games or coached 10 true road games at Alabama. What do you think his record is?
Oh, not good. Not good.
10 true road games. Well, I know he
really good at home. Not good.
Lost to Tennessee, lost at Oklahoma, lost at Florida State.
Lost to Vandy.
Lost to Vandy, so that's 6-4.
It's 5-5.
What's the other one? Where did I miss?
I don't know.
It was a bowl game that was away from.
Oh, so this is not Tuscaloosa. It's not necessarily road games.
Yeah, I had true road games, but 5-5.
Yeah, 5-5. That would be it. Michigan would be the only other one, I think.
So the last 21 games for Auburn against ranked teams. I did the post Malzahn's 3-22. Last 21 versus ranked teams for the Auburn Tigers.
It's not going to be much better. So this dips back into Malzahn?
No, this is post Malzahn because they played 25 since Malzahn. This is the last 21.
3-18.
I like that number.
1-20. Their last 21 against ranked teams. So this is the 90th Iron Bowl. Alabama 51-37-1 against that. I mentioned the unranked Auburn teams 1-29 against ranked Alabama teams. Last night game, you guys remember this? It was a fun game.
2014. That was a track meet.
Yeah.
55-44.
That was when Lane Kiffin threw up the hands.
Yeah. 55-44. Was that your final in that game?
I think it was.
Yeah,
that was Nick Marshall battling Blake Sims, right?
That's right. And Auburn led for a lot of that game, and then Blake Sims brought Alabama back.
This is interesting. Last 6 meetings in Jordan-Hare in the Iron Bowl. 3-3 is the record. And the score, identical, 167-167.
Wow.
That's how tight these games have been.
Yeah.
Just got a couple more here. This is the third interim coach in a Iron Bowl. You guys can probably name the 2 other.
Oliver
and Cadillac.
Cadillac Williams.
And those did not go well for Auburn. Double-digit losses in both of those.
Not. You're right.
And just some things under DeBoer. I mentioned the fact when they go 100-plus rushing, 15-0. When they lead at half, 18 games. What do you think his record is? 18 games leading at half.
I'd go at Alabama.
Yep.
18-0.
17-1 when leading at half.
Trying to remember the loss. So you saw the same stat I did, that Auburn with a losing record in this game has never won it. Is that the stat that you saw? I'm trying to find it so I can confirm it. But did you see the same stat?
Yes.
Auburn has never won the Iron Bowl when they enter the game with a losing record. That's the stat I saw. And I'm going to try to find that number and try to confirm that I actually saw the stat. But if you saw the same thing.
Well, the last one was an Alabama win when they had a losing record. Wrong way boat, 1984.
Well,
that's probably dead on. I mean, if they're 1-29 unranked versus ranked.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard if they had a losing record.
Ole Miss gets a late touchdown right before the half, 21-10. They lead the Egg Bowl. More Iron Bowl discussion, including what DJ Durkin is saying about Auburn being focused, being brought to you today by our friends at CPAP Plus. If you're struggling with a night's sleep, our friends at CPAP Plus can help you sleep home, Alabama.
Yeah, they've got a show your sleep numbers, not sleep number. What the hell am I talking about? Your CPAP score. You just go by one of those 3 Birmingham locations, Trustful, Inverness, right there, Highway 280. Stop and see the O'Neill brothers. You show them your score. You're going to register yourself to win a $900 travel CPAP machine from our friends at O'Neill Medical and CPAP Plus. SleepHomeAlabama.com. You can also go to o'neillmed.com. That is ONEAL med.com.
All right. So halftime at the Egg Bowl, 21-10. How do you feel about Ole Miss right now? Again, if you're just listening on your drive home from a grandma's house or wherever you go on Thanksgiving and you're listening on our audio platform, Mississippi State students, alleged students, but somebody broke into the Ole Miss locker room overnight. Alleged state students into the Ole Miss locker room overnight and stole a Trinidad Chambliss jersey. Chambliss is playing. They have multiple jerseys.
Not naked.
But they caught that on video. A source of inspiration for Ole Miss. They scored an early touchdown. State answered. They've gone back and forth. It's 21-10 right now, and Lane is using the Nick Saban hands going to the locker room, so he's intense.
Well, I thought Jeff Levy's defense did a good job of settling down. You know, they go up 14-7, 10 minutes into the game, and that was such a big touchdown right before half for Ole Miss, because if you're Jeff Levy and you're down 14-10, you get the ball first, and you feel really good about that one possession going down and taking the lead here. So I think mentally for Ole Miss, huge to get that double-digit lead going into halftime. I'm going to stick with what you've got in your pick 3. I'm going to stick with Ole Miss is going to end up covering this game. I do think maybe a little bit of a different outcome if they would have gotten it in at 14-10, but it feels like momentum now back with Ole Miss.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin spent a significant amount of time with the head official before doing his ESPN interview as they were leaving the field.
He wanted ejections because there were at least 2 state players I saw that threw punches. I don't know if an Ole Miss player did or not, but no ejections as far as I can tell here as they're at the half at the Egg Bowl. Georgia Tech at Mercedes-Benz, and A&M Texas later on, all games with some sort of playoff and championship implications on the line this weekend in the Southeastern Conference. Of course, Auburn and Alabama going tomorrow night, 6:30 at Jordan-Hare Stadium. We're at Moe's Barbecue in downtown Auburn, just a few feet away from the historic Toomer's Corner, where they hope to light it up with toilet paper on Saturday night around 10 p.m. and roll the corner after an Auburn victory. Alabama still a 5.5-point favorite. Here's DJ Durkin, Auburn's head coach for the game, talking about his Tiger squad being focused on getting a win and getting bowl eligible.
You mentioned that everyone in the country was calling your players, and you praised their focus in the midst of that turmoil. You know, how focused is the team headed into the Iron Bowl, and where do you stand in that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I think that reached an all-time high probably last week with the contact and distractions. I think this week I would hope, I really believe our guys are going to be, totally locked into the task at hand. And that's certainly the challenge. And all we do, we talk about it every day. We address it every day, and we hit it head on with them. And it is what it is. It's the environment we're in. There's nothing, you're going to do to stop that. So it's just let's address it and get their minds in the right place. And I do feel like it starts with leadership. And I think our leaders on our team are tremendous, and they will have challenged their teammates and everyone to stay where your feet are, stay locked in, and we're part of something bigger than ourselves, and we're gonna be accountable to that.
That's DJ Durkin on the pre-portaling of his players. Continue on. Thought it reached a high before Mercer. Yeah. But still continuing this week. I would imagine Deuce Knight was one of the guys whose phone started to light up a little bit.
Sure. Once you gave him a game full of film, I'm sure a lot of people could envision him in their offense.
So what's more distracting for you think? The coaching search in the background, they don't know who their head coach is going to be next year. Some want DJ Durkin to be the guy. Jon Sumrall has said today, according through Pete Thamel, he's going to make his decision Sunday morning, whether it's Auburn, whether it's Florida, whether it's Tulane. Or is it at Alabama, where Kane Womack's a finalist for the Arkansas job? Ryan Grubb could be a candidate for the Washington job if that pops open. And then Jamarcus Shepard has been announced last night as the Oregon State coach. Both of those can be distractions, and the way you get to defeat, distraction leads to defeat.
Yeah, I mean, if you start looking at this, I mean, Kane, if Kane leaves, I don't know what direction you guys think that Kalen DeBoer would go. I mean, Sheridan is an obvious just moving right up if Grubb goes back, because Sheridan was in that. Well, he's kind of still got that title right now, but you start to look at all the defections possibly and completely rebuilding a staff. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, but I think forget rebuilding yet. Just the focus on this game with coaches taking jobs, maybe interviewing for jobs. Does that impact this game?
I think the only impact that the coaching carousel will have on this game is I would anticipate a lot of Auburn players want DJ Durkin to get this job. That is just generally the way it rolls with an interim coach. The team rallies behind this guy if they like him.
Yeah, better chance of getting the job is if he wins the game, right?
100%. Yeah. And if players like him, they will play for him. And, you never know, Jim. I mean, it's one or two plays in a game like this. If a guy's playing out of his mind and having the game of his life because he's playing his tail off for his head coach, then that is that could be an impact in this game. In my opinion, that's the only way any of this impacts this game. Like, I don't think Womack potentially going to Arkansas or Jamarcus Shepard already going to Oregon State impacts anything. I think the only way this is impacted is if guys are just playing out of their mind, trying to get their guy DJ Durkin the job.
Kalen DeBoer has won a lot of big games as a head coach, but there just seems something about the pressure of this game and the magnitude of this game, just based on, I think it was a dose of reality last year when you go 9-3 and you're the last team to not get an at-large, and then you realize how disappointed the fan base is in the offseason. And if you are to lose two of your final 3 regular season games and get bounced out in back-to-back years of a 12-team playoff, like the pressure. I mean, you guys tell me. I mean, again, I wasn't joking when I came on Monday. I said this would be one of the worst losses for Alabama in the history of the Iron Bowl. Give me another pressure situation. I guess back to the BCS when you look at games like 2013. But, I mean, this is one of the more pressure-packed spots Alabama's ever been in this game.
You're going to see a common thread here in what I'm about to do. But to me, I don't know if you ever gave that any consideration. The ones that I would put in consideration, 1989 Iron Bowl. Alabama entered that game, first game here in Auburn at Jordan-Hare Stadium ever. They were number 2 in the country, and they're playing for the national championship if they win that game.
In 89.
In 89.
Yeah, that was the wrestling with the Angels. I saw the video.
Was that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So 1989, Alabama comes here to Auburn for the first time. If memory serves, led at the half. They end up losing 30-20. I think the half was like 10-7 Alabama. That's one that you could discuss, like the pain of losing that game. It was the first one here. It was Bill Curry's 3rd consecutive loss to Auburn, which ended up in large part being one of the reasons he got fired / left, whatever you want to say. And it cost Alabama a shot to play for a national championship. They were undefeated. 2013, obviously the kick 6. If Alabama wins that game, they win the national championship. Auburn won the game. They should have won the national championship. So those two are the ones that I would say, I mean, that was directly playing for the national championship. This would be to go to Atlanta and probably the college football playoff all in one. That's not directly playing for the national championship. So those are the only two I could say you would look back on and say that's a more painful loss than what this one would be.
1972 was that way too.
Yeah, I wasn't
What was Alabama ranked that year?
Number 1.
Okay.
So that was harmful to them winning the championship.
72, they may have been number 2. That may have been the year that Oklahoma and Nebraska were 1-2.
So, but it's going to be one of those situations where they're not going to get to play number 1 because we used to have a really stupid way of determining a national championship.
Look, I have agreed with you guys that the SEC has kind of dictated if you play in this SEC championship game, you're in. There are a lot of Alabama fans. I was getting texts yesterday. Is there a chance Alabama's going to be left out if they lose in the SEC championship game? And I went through and really looked at this. I think your biggest X factor is if BYU wins the Big 12 championship game, I think it could become a problem.
Yeah, it would be Oklahoma, or if Ole Miss lost this game, it would be Oklahoma that would be left out.
Yeah, I know that sounds crazy because they beat Alabama head-to-head, but I think the committee will trump. That will be the trump card, Alabama having played for the conference championship.
I don't know how you can do that when Oklahoma beat them in Bryant-Denny.
They're going to do it to Notre Dame and Miami. They're going to do it to Miami.
Notre Dame will be in too in Miami.
Yeah. But you can at least make the argument if you're the committee. That was, C.J. Carr's first start. That was back in September.
Those things shouldn't matter.
Now, when you look at eye test, you can't bring that up with Oklahoma. Oklahoma beat them in Bryant-Denny in November.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Well, 1 more hour to go. Bret Eddins will be here in just a second. Thoughts on Clark Lee and Eli Drinkwitz after you tell us about our friends at Company Distilling LT.
If you've been waiting to try a whiskey as good as the company you keep, this is your moment. Available in Alabama ABC stores. Ask for it by name. The man behind the bottle, Jeff Arnett, the former master distiller at Jack Daniels. You're looking for that stocking stuff, or you're heading over to somebody's house for the holidays. Pick up a bottle of Company. I introduced it to my older brother Shane last night. We did some of the maple variation, fantastic bourbon. Again, available at all your ABC stores. If they don't have it, ask for it by name. Tell them to get it. It's Company Distilling.
All right. So what do you think of first Clark Lee, 6-year deal staying at Vanderbilt, 6-year extension staying at Vandy?
Just wild that we are in a world where a coach can have this level of success at Vanderbilt and Vanderbilt is able to keep him. And I know Lance, he's an alum and all those things, but it just shows to me the different world of college football we're in, that he can say, you know what, I have had more success than any Vandy coach has ever had in a single season. And guess what? I'm staying here.
I love it for Vanderbilt, and I think they've got an opportunity, obviously, to beat Tennessee. And if they win that game, they're going to be very much in the conversation to get an at-large. So, this could go down as one of the greatest weeks in Vanderbilt football history. I think it shows you. I don't know when they're going to get done with that stadium. They're still working on it, right? Still chipping away.
I mean, they're adding crap onto the stadium. But if you go back to when they were on game day several weeks ago, he said they're not going to stop with just the end zone renovations they've done, that they want to tear down one side, redo it, tear down the other side, redo it. So they've got apparently a very long-term plan on that on-campus facility there to at least bring it up to par with the lower level stadiums in the SEC. It's by far and away the worst facility in the SEC.
Hey, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can maintain. I know everybody's going to say it's Diego Pavia, but guess what?
Factor.
You've got NIL, and if you get quarterback right again, I mean, you see it right now with Fernando Mendoza, what he's doing for Kirk Cignetti in Indiana. If Indiana can keep it back-to-back years, I mean, last year was one of the best Vanderbilt teams we've ever seen. This is the best Vanderbilt team we've ever seen, and, hey, good for Vanderbilt. I love the fact that Clark Lee probably could have gone somewhere bigger and better, but stays with his alma mater.
And then Eli Drinkwitz getting over $10 million a year to be a head coach anywhere, but at Missouri is surprising.
So this guy just went either 8-4 or 7-5, depending on the outcome of tomorrow's game against Arkansas, against a schedule that was tailor-made to go to the college football playoff. I mean, if you were Missouri, you know you're going to have to play at least one or two good teams. You know you're going to grab an Alabama or a Georgia or a Texas A&M. They got a couple of them. That schedule should have been a college football playoff schedule for them, and they missed it.
Yeah.
And he is going to get $10 million. It's amazing.
Well, look, I think Drink probably looks at this and he's like, damn, they're going to pay me $11 million and I could go 7-5 and Missouri fans still like me.
I know.
And I look around the country and guys like James Franklin that are in the national semifinals get fired mid-season. Like, grass isn't always greener.
Yep.
They're renovating things. Missouri football is in as good of a spot as it's ever been. So, if you want less pressure, he made the right decision.
Real quick, it's supply and demand, and the supply of college football coaches, the good coaches, is very low right now.
That gets us to the top of the hour. Bret Eddins joins the show. He's the part of the Auburn Network broadcast tomorrow night. On the other side, the show brought to you by Coca-Cola today. Coke Zero Sugar for fans everywhere. Alabama Auburn fans game day is better with Coke Zero Sugar because fan work is thirsty work.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt, can't work, don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Thanksgiving is here, and let the New York Butcher Shop be the place to get all of your holiday meal items. Their premium turkeys are fresh, free-range, and hormone-free. The New York Butcher Shop also has a wide selection of chef-prepared side items to help save you time in the kitchen. Pick up a bottle of wine, and your meal will be complete. Turkeys are selling fast, so place your order today. 2 locations to serve you, in Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. NextRound.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at NextRound.store. Take the next round anywhere with NextRound.store. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. 3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the from Moe's Barbecue in downtown Auburn, just a few feet away from Toomer's Corner, presented by our wonderful friends at Bud Light. Thanks for the gift from our friends at Budweiser as well. This holiday stein, they've made a unique one since 1980. Every year since 1980, our friends at Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, Adams Beverage, and Bud Light enjoying a football weekend. Let's bring in an Auburn great and talk about just how tough it is to beat the mighty Alabama Crimson Tide.
He had a few of them. Bret Eddins is with us. He's been on the sideline. He and Ronnie Brown this year, and he'll be on the Auburn broadcast over the weekend. First of all, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for coming in.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming in.
Everybody found out y'all were doing a show downtown and parking got tight. I was worried I was going to be able to park and get here on time.
I don't know what shuts Auburn down more, us or the Iron Bowl, but we'll take the compliment.
A lot of buy one, get one sprees all down the strip here. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially our friends from Bud Light giving them out.
What crazy season, though. Like, if you would have told any of us, I think, that Hugh Freeze gets fired in the middle of the season, but Auburn's only a 5.5-point underdog to a team playing to get into the college football playoff. It seems pretty crazy.
It seems crazy, and I think rivalry week, you compress those lines a little bit. You guys are a lot better at gambling than I am, I'm sure. That doesn't take much, but I think Auburn's got the talent. It was just how is it being used? And so you've seen Auburn all season find ways to lose close games. Alabama's done the opposite. They found ways to win close games. And I think it's just using your talent appropriately.
Yeah, that's what's surprising to me because this Auburn roster sort of was built for this year. Are you really surprised at the record with the roster you look at? And it's easy to say just change quarterback and the record's different, but from a sportscaster, a guy who never played the game, it looks to me like if you just change quarterbacks, the record's different.
I think quarterbacks, maybe play calling, a little bit of practice and preparation changed. A lot more things changed than just a player on the field. But, yeah, I mean, this year, if you looked at it, told me, hey, Kentucky's going to come to Jordan-Hare and score 10 points. You go, all right, that's a W.
Yes.
Things like that happen. It's kind of the season of if you told me this, what would it be? Right. A lot of times you say, oh, that's probably a win. And it just didn't come to fruition.
So can you explain the offensive explosion in Nashville? You switch, first of all, you fire your coach, you switch quarterbacks, and then boom, all of a sudden, Auburn has their best offensive performance of the season.
I think a little bit of that might have been Vandy wasn't quite sure what to prepare for. A lot of that was just Derek Nix finding ways to get the ball into the playmakers' hands. And I think, everybody was on the same page. There was a lot of coaching being done on the sideline, a lot more than you saw in other games of the season from the position coaches. So I think you had a little bit more delegation from the offensive coordinator down in that game and also Mercer. And the players just really, rose to the occasion.
Yeah, but Cam Coleman, 20 targets the last two games, which is significantly higher than any of the previous games. That's just – he's such a good receiver. It's just odd to see that number change that late in the season.
Well, it's one of those things you heard it and you felt it and you saw some highlights, and then it's like, oh, if you can do that more than twice a game.
That's what's great. Like,
you don't have a finite number of passes you can throw to a guy during the season. You just kind of throw it.
In fact, it should be unlimited with that guy. Right?
I mean, this is no disrespect to guys like Falk and Atkins, and there's great players on this roster, but I think we all know like the most talented guy is Cam Coleman. And I said this earlier in today's show that like an exceptional next level receiver like there can make bad quarterbacks look better. Like, I don't understand why he wasn't getting more opportunities week in, week out.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I certainly can't explain. Y'all talked about what coaches are getting paid in college football now, and I think if I could explain all that stuff, I'd be getting a little cut of that at some point. But Yeah, I just think Derek Nix has got more of a focus of we've got these guys, we brought them in to throw them the ball. Let's find ways to get them the ball, and maybe some ways that teams haven't seen.
I've tried to prepare the Alabama folks who haven't been here, the coaching staff, a lot of the players for all the pyrotechnics and the craziness. One thing I haven't prepared them for, any more national championships going to be celebrated pre-game, halftime, during a timeout?
I don't know. We might find a few. I've got some old Coca-Cola bottles I found from back in your time when Alabama.
Back in your time.
We just waited for the social media age to come out so everybody can document it 1,000 times a day.
But in all seriousness, it is special to be recognized for really what you guys were able to accomplish back in the field back in the day.
I think it's great. And, if you go undefeated, if you've got a one-loss team in a year when, you had 3 one-loss teams and you had a better record than somebody, a lot of these schools have done it throughout the past. I think it's great. There's no harm in it for anybody. It's a way to celebrate your players and your teams, and everybody gets together. And the stadiums look a little better with a few more numbers up there than just 1 or 2.
When you were growing up in Montgomery, was it always Auburn for you?
Yeah, my dad played here. My mom went here, and so we were the Auburn kids in the neighborhood, come hell or high water. So there were some rough times, but my first Iron Bowl was actually the '89 Iron Bowl, and my brother and I didn't really realize what a big deal it was. Really? Our parents let us say, "Weagle, weagle, war, damn eagle," and we didn't get in trouble. This is kind of a big deal. I didn't realize this. Did we get a cuss?
Yes. So your first Iron Bowl ever was the first one at Jordan-Hare.
'89, yeah.
And you still, because, I was not at that game. It's one of the few Jordan-Hare Iron Bowls I've missed, but I was not at that game. But I can remember, just hearing the stories people have told me about that day and just the electricity in the air. Can you still feel that?
Grown men crying.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. I guess a lot of people, I didn't realize that the Iron Bowl had never been played here before. So my parents were kind of trying to beat that into us. And when you get into the stadium and you see people just that electric, that intense, which the Iron Bowl is like that seemingly every year now.
Right.
But that was, I think, very special for a lot of Auburn people.
When we were growing up, there was a theory that Jimmy Hoffa was buried in East Rutherford, Giant Stadium. Never found his body. I think there's SEC fans that are convinced there's like bodies under Jordan-Hare because of some of the crazy things that happened. Just you playing, in that stadium, like what is the wildest thing you saw while you were playing? Obviously kick six and prayer at Jordan-Hare and all those things we've all seen. But what about personally for you? Maybe something we don't talk about enough.
We really didn't have that many crazy, like some of the stuff we've seen here recently. Our undefeated season, we missed the extra point against LSU, and we got to re-kick it because one of their players jumped over the top and landed, so we got to re-kick it. I was a fat defensive end, so I was on the extra point field goal team, and I walked over to John Vaughn, the kicker, and I was like, "Hey, there's no way you missed this twice, right?" And he just looked at me like, "What are you doing?" And then
did you really say that?
Yeah, and I was like, all right, you need to calm down. You missed an extra point. Just calm down. You're not going to do it again. And he nailed it. But that was probably the wildest thing, especially that year.
Well, that was a nuts game. That was Nick Saban coached LSU.
Yeah, they had Jimbo on the sideline for offense, Will Muschamp for defense. Kirby Smart was on that staff. They previous national champs. A hurricane had come through that week, and I think they got 1 day of practice, and we did too. And both teams spent the entirety of the week in hotels. We were in the hotel and conference center for 3.5 days. It was like The Shining or something. You guys really started to kind of lose it at 20 years old, being locked in your room. Like, we can't watch any more tape of this thing. Let's just go play.
Let's go play it.
So that was probably the weirdest week.
I love it. It's an extra point. You can't miss it.
Twice, right? And he was like, oh.
Those kickers there.
Speaking of kickers, Alabama's kicker is struggling right now. Meanwhile, the great Alex McPherson story, he seems to be as healthy as he's been all year long. He seems to be almost, not back to his usual self, but his kicking seems to be peaking at the right time for Auburn going into this game.
I think he's just coming back physically as much as anything. I think mentally he's obviously a very strong kid. I can't imagine going through what he's been through. And seeing him on the sidelines, I can stand to lose a few pounds. I don't see how he had weight to lose. Not a big person anyways, in great shape. But, he's really been able to find his strength and get his accuracy back, especially since that Missouri game that was so tough for him.
I was watching his brother last night in the NFL game, and I'm like, man, that is so sad because he was that. But before, just a terribly unfortunate illness, he was basically his brother's level.
Yeah.
And his brother's one of the better ones in the NFL.
It's amazing. And I guess if we hadn't had the Carlson brothers, we would have, I'm sure, gone after him because they're from Fort Payne, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
And he's done great in the NFL. And hopefully he'll get a shot at that at the next level. If he can continue to physically heal and get better, I'm sure he's so accurate. I think they'd love to have him.
Bret Eddins is with us. You'll hear him on the Auburn Network tomorrow. The former Auburn overweight defensive end, as he called it. I think that's it's a little self-deprecation there.
It's a legal term.
A legal term, overweight defensive end. He is with us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline. One thing we were talking about earlier, and I'm curious from a defensive point of view, Auburn is really good against the run. They struggle a little bit against the pass. The way that matches up with Alabama's offense, Alabama hadn't run it on anybody, whether they're good or bad against the run, and really they lean heavily on the pass. How does that work, in your mind, when a team, a defense's obvious strength goes against an offense's obvious weakness?
Well, Alabama hadn't had to run the ball. They've got great wide receivers, a very good quarterback. They've got, NFL offensive coordinator. Coach DeBoer's a great offensive mind. I think DJ Durkin did a great job of kind of saying, their short, quick passes are an extension of their run game. So they don't feel like they've got to pound the ball at you. And they can. They've got big, strong running backs. I just think they're able to put you out in space with their players so often that eventually they're going to break it. And that's kind of their goal. So Auburn's got to do a really good job of focusing on that, but also not letting the running backs get out there and break one on you because they can go.
When you say, real quick, I'm sorry, but when you say, I think Auburn, they're ranked 100th against the pass or whatever it is, what has caused that, do you think? When you look at their pass defense, why have they not executed to the level that the rest of the defense has?
I just think in the SEC, it's one of those things. I say it takes 11 guys to make one stat. And all it takes is one guy in the SEC on defense to bust. And if you bust on a run, especially up front, there's a linebacker, a safety, other guys are running down. These athletes in the SEC now, the wide receivers, if you make a bust and the quarterback sees it like Pavia did for Vandy a couple of times against us, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're not going to drop the ball. They're not going to miss the throw. They're going to really torch you. And so I think we just had a couple of mental busts. We've had some injuries where young guys have come in and played a little bit more, and teams do a great job of setting, motion out there to get the matchups that they want, then attacking. And so we've got to do a good job of making sure, recognizing when they're trying to get those matchups and those guys stepping up and making plays.
Earlier this week, we were talking about one play in certain games that can define and take a season a different way. You go back to the call, the Georgia game. If Auburn goes up 17-0 there, I think we all agree Auburn wins that game. And how different is the season for Georgia? How different is the season for Auburn? But just sitting on my couch, and I had a lot of bourbon that night, but I was so confused by the sequences going on. You guys on the sideline, you and Ronnie, what was the communication? What were you guys talking about, thinking, just how that whole sequence in the final 10, 15 minutes in real time played out?
First, I'm glad you clarified which play you're talking about, because that was one of the that was my first big game on the sideline. And I was like, is it always like this? This is ridiculous. I see it on TV, but I'm seeing it live in living color here. That's one of those where I thought he got in on the play before, and to cross the plane is such a low bar of just one piece of that ball touching one piece of that line and the play's done. I thought it got in the play before, close play. The next play, I thought it happened again. His arm kind of had it covered, and they keep reviewing it, and they keep showing different angles. And I'm on the sideline turning to people next to me going, he got in, right?
Yeah.
He got in. And one guy next to me is like, oh, yeah. The next guy's like, I don't know. Then, some people are going, well, they're talking way too long to say it's in. And you kind of start realizing in your head, they're looking at something else on here. And it happened multiple times in that game. So I think the speed of the game is so fast. I want to give the referees some grace and some of that stuff, but it's just wild that you're right, man. That turned that game, and in a lot of ways potentially turned those seasons.
You can give the referee grace, but he hadn't done another game since, so I don't know if anybody else gave him grace.
Well, see, I give him grace as well, but when you go to replay in that particular situation, on like you said, just breaking the plane, didn't even look close to me as far as just breaking the plane. It looked like he broke the plane.
It looked that way, and I guess they've got to have incontrovertible evidence, something like that. Yeah. And so it's. Again, certain people haven't done much since then, and so maybe there were other mistakes made. But in the moment, it's a tougher thing to do. I want to give you guys credit. Y'all call basketball games. I have a whole new respect after being on the sideline. Y'all do a great job of that, by the way. I really did enjoy it.
We don't call basketball games.
One a year.
Y'all do a great job, and it's a lot harder than people realize.
Right.
Things are happening constantly, and you're having to adjust and make the right call the whole time. Andy and Jason do it for us, and they do a great job. And the referees have to do the same thing. Yeah. What blows my mind with referees is when they throw a flag for something, get together, and then wave it off. how did you talk me out of the thing that I saw that I threw a flag for? Like, no, you didn't see that. Like,
So just ignore that.
Some of these guys are lawyers in their full-time job, so those are the guys that usually are like, hey, I don't think you really saw
They win the argument.
Yeah, they win the argument every time. So, again, the fan in me, they see Deuce do what he did against Mercer last week, and then you come in on Monday and you start doing a show like us, and everybody's like, you got to give Deuce a package. You got to let Deuce play. You played the game. Chance from going no action at all to actually having a play, a package, a role in the Iron Bowl seems like a bridge too far for me. But do you think there's a role that Deuce could play in this game?
Yes, but again, if you're talking about a package, he and Ashton Daniels are very similar athletes as quarterbacks as athletes. If it was a statue of a quarterback back there, and then you brought in an athletic guy to mix things up, make folks practice against it, I could see that.
Right.
More than likely, if he does come in, it's for one or two very
because you guys are blowing out Alabama. Okay.
Set plays or something, or that. I'll take that as well. We'll call that the Dunaway package.
Can you give me one thing that you think goes Auburn's way? They win this game.
Turnovers. I think if you can win the turnover battle by more than one, you've got a good chance. And that's just because you've got to keep Alabama from scoring points. They're so good offensively, and they're really good defensively. So if you can get a turnover and give yourself better field position a couple of times in the game, that's what it's going to take to win the game.
At 5-6, it's hard to be a confident team, but all 6 losses by 10 or less points. So, how confident do you think Auburn is coming into this game?
I think they feel good about who they are. I think they figured out the last 2 or 3 weeks really who they are and who they can be. And you never want to go into a game thinking, oh, this is a really good team, we might lose. You might lose any game. We've proven that. But you can win every one of those games. You can just make a few changes here or there. And so, I think they're going to go into it confident and just try to play the best game they can.
How much do you think Auburn's defense looks like Oklahoma's defense? Is there some things that Auburn does that Oklahoma did that had success against Alabama?
Oklahoma's defense is weird. I don't put a lot of stock in everything Lane Kiffin says, but it does seem like they pick up on signals or trends or tendencies about as well as anybody in the country. And so hopefully I wasn't pulling for Alabama, but I kind of wanted to win that game because maybe we had seen something that we could use against them, but Oklahoma went ahead and jumped on that package, but now they're going to tweak it. But there's really good defenses across the SEC. You could probably name 5 or 6 defenses in the SEC that I'll say, hey, let's go to the ACC and run shop. Let's go to the Big 12 and run shop. Most of the Big 10 and run shop. And you're going to face good defenses every week just about.
So explain to me, from a guy that played the game, now that we've got in-helmet communication, what exactly is being signaled in that they're catching?
Well, that's why I was saying it's more tendencies. It's
more tendencies than signals, yeah.
There's still a human calling. There's still a coach saying, hey, in 32, we're going to go in motion. I want to do this. They're trying to pick up on those kind of things. And even so, you're calling a play in the huddle. Quarterbacks have tendencies. Linemen have tendencies on how they set up. Wide receivers still, they might fix their glove a little bit before they go out and they know they're going to be getting the ball.
Yeah.
There's things like that sometimes you watch the TV version to try and pick up on that. And you can pick up on it sometimes on game film and see stuff. You go, oh, that's kind of weird.
I know Auburn had a bye. I don't know if you watched Pitt, Georgia Tech.
I'm part of it.
Did you see the fake punt? The terrible Pitt fake punt. One of the worst fake punts.
Every time I turned it over, it was like Georgia Tech was turning it over.
Yeah,
or
there was a lot of that.
Was running for it.
So the Pitt guy, they've got the punter behind the snapper, and then they've got an up back, kind of where Lance is, and they snap it to the up back, right? So the long snapper comes to the line of scrimmage. He sets up, and right before the snap, he turns his butt right at Lance and snaps it. I'm like, I think it was pretty obvious you guys are faking that.
Did the punter do the thing where he jumped up like he missed it, ran back to the yard?
But he was looking at the punter. Once the long snapper, turns his butt and snaps it to everybody on the defensive side knew what was coming. It's crazy.
You don't have to give us a name. Do you feel confident you know who Auburn's coach will be in 2026?
No.
Okay.
What is the interim?
I walked in. I was like, you got a little bit of a Jon Sumrall look about you today. The vest and the hood. Yeah. Are you trying to signal something?
No. Hey, look, if you guys, look, no disrespect to DJ Durkin, but we're all big fans of Jon Sumrall.
I think he's a football guy. He's a coach. Yeah. I think DJ Durkin's a great football guy and a coach. And there's a lot of good ones out there. Again, if I'd known this is what the market was going to be to coach football, maybe give it a shot.
Are you surprised you didn't have success? Like, I thought it was I thought it was a really good fit. Now, there were a lot of Auburn people that didn't want Hugh. They wanted Lane Kiffin. I just thought the fit was there, and I am really, really shocked that it went this bad.
I think the surprise is more so in how it happened. You know, you recruit well, you come in, and it's the offense that just is the part that kind of makes it happen. I think John Cohen said it well. If we had an average offense, it wouldn't have happened this year. And it just, for whatever reason, it just didn't work out. But it's been fun the last 2 weeks to really see the players go out there, put up numbers, and show what they can do on the field.
I'm not giving you any DJ Durkin vibes at all with his hair.
A little bit. A little bit.
So we got Sumrall.
Maybe more tomorrow night when it's good and cold like this.
What is the playing for the interim factor, though? Because you were fortunate at Auburn. You had a stable coaching situation with Coach Sumrall. That never changed.
While you were there, though, right? It was decades, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean,
that was
how stable was that?
I said it never changed. It's close to changing. Well, I mean, okay. Well, let's go back to that. So,
God, can you imagine social media?
Hey, the show being brought to you by our friends at Walk-Ons. As we get ready to do this, our friends at Walk-Ons, game day at Walk-Ons all the time, and winning is better when you go by Walk-Ons because you can celebrate with not only the great cocktails, the unbelievable beer selection, but all the great food from the mozzarella logs all the way to the varsity burgers, the great bone-in wings they've got now for you. A little taste of the Cajun with your game day with our friends at Walk-Ons, Trustwell in Hoover, and also on Highway 280 at Tattersall Park. It's our friends at Walk-Ons.
So Ole Miss's team seems to be handling distractions well. They're up 21-13, but we talk about this all the time. Distractions and coaching searches. Is that a real thing in a college football locker room?
I don't know. I mean, again, we had it a little bit. It was during an off-season kind of thing, and we got a couple of us got called to come in and do interviews about Jetgate right after it happened, and it was, as I remember, it was me and Junior Rosegreen were the only two guys that were in there at that time, and I was kind of giving more diplomatic answers that we were the ones that let Coach down. It wasn't him that calls these records. Junior had some more choice phrases that I don't think made it into print. But I think as players, we knew. I mean, we were the ones that just didn't execute. We had good game plans. We met about it every Sunday, kind of, hey, this is what we should have done. We just didn't do it on the field. So you kind of felt bad, like you had let somebody down. But we were able to regroup. And I think a lot of these kids now, it's such a business on the player end as well that they kind of understand it to a certain degree. And we talked about it last week, Jason and I, about the kids from Mercer. They had the playoffs this week. Well, a lot of them wanted to show out last week to try and get their level up next year. They get, eyes against SEC play.
A money game,
money games. These kids are doing it every week. You can't say, oh, well, my coach is gone, I'm just going to be lackadaisical. They want to get paid again next year. They want to level up. They want to get more. And so that's a great way to do it.
But you guys were stuck. I mean, if a coach changed, if he got fired or he left, y'all were sort of stuck. Y'all couldn't leave Auburn. Nowadays, it's a year-to-year transition. They could walk in and half the Ole Miss team could go with Lane if he went to LSU.
Well, and that's one of the things that I don't like. I liked the thought of the transfer rule that kids could leave like coaches and leave when coaches did. And so many people say, hey, NIL's ruined college sports. I don't think NIL's really ruined college sports. It's tweaked it a little bit. The transfer rules, I think, are what have ruined it.
I agree.
To where kids can just up and leave. Friends of mine that coach in multiple sports in college talk about having to recruit kids, then re-recruit them 3 times a year. And I don't think it's burning the coaches out physically, it's burning them out emotionally on buying into these kids and pouring into them to try to make them the best they can be. Because every 3 months they got to turn around and figure out some way to keep them happy.
Hey, and by the way, if you're not performing, they're not going to invest in you. They're just going to push you aside and bring in somebody else new too, who's already made and ready. They don't have to wait for you to get better.
Oh yeah.
So back to the question I fumbled on. The locker room impact for playing for the interim, because a lot of times the interim, if he's a well-liked coach, and I think Durkin is among the players, that's the guy they want. They don't see long-term. They say, I'm a player right here, and I like this coach. I want this guy. I mean, can you see guys playing to a better level than they've played just because they know, hey, if we win here Saturday night, it helps our guy out?
I think so. And again, I think it's part of the business aspect of them to show, hey, I can focus when everything around me is going crazy. I can prove you in the NFL or at other schools or even here that I put it all out on the field, regardless of what's happening over there. I'm worth more. But I do think there's something there to say, hey, anytime things go bad, let's circle the wagons. Let's look internally. Let's do this for each other.
Yeah.
And if that's for the interim coach, that's great. But a lot of times it's just we want this team, this band of brothers, to win and show who we really can be. And that's why I think you see a lot of those teams end up being a little more successful after the fact when these things happen.
I mean, winning this game is obviously big, but getting bowl eligible, I mean, what does that do? Extra practice time, retaining guys, getting momentum going into next year. Is that big, getting bowl eligible?
I think that's one of those things that a lot of people don't talk about is bowl practice is 15 practices. That's another spring.
Yeah.
With your guys, with young guys getting a lot of reps, with older guys doing specific workouts for pro guys that are there. Recruits can get, well, now with signing day being moved, recruits used to kind of come around that time too. It's a big deal. And the coaches get to try new things with new players before you go into spring. And another thing, it keeps those guys busy during the transfer portal period so that they're on campus practicing, doing football. They're not sitting at home fielding calls from 20 different teams every day.
He is Bret Eddins. You'll hear him on the Auburn Network, and he had a great career as an overweight defensive end at Auburn. Very lucky. He's trimmed up now. Looks good.
That was a great story. We will reference that story.
Oh yeah,
with Duvall.
Yeah, you can't miss. You can't miss.
It was Vaughn, right?
John Vaughn.
Yeah,
John Vaughn. Yeah.
No way you missed this twice.
No way you missed this twice.
Yeah.
But did Vaughn miss 5 kicks in a game?
LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It was kind of like
was that the one down there? It was down there, right?
Down there.
Yeah.
And he was super accurate his entire career. And
did y'all stay away from him that game?
I was gone that year.
Oh, okay.
That was the next year. And I had some friends call. They're like, man.
So that was a hangover from what you told me.
You can't miss it twice, right? You can miss it 5.
Yeah, so surely after 4, you're not going to miss a 5th one. I can't believe you got a 5th chance. I mean, this day and age, you don't get a 5th chance.
See, I mean, eventually it's got to hit on red, right? Just keep doubling down on red, and it's going to hit eventually, right?
Bret Eddins, Auburn Network. Thank you, my man.
Thanks, Chad. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
I lost
Happy
a Toyota
Thanksgiving.
Tercel one time thinking that eventually, if I just keep betting, it's going to hit. It's going to hit.
That's a fair loss at Tercell. That's a good.
Yeah. I wouldn't still have it now.
Look at you.
Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, that's hands to the face.
Yeah, that's penalty now.
Oh, yeah. They
You can't call that.
Yeah, not going to call that now.
All right. That's that half hour with Bret there. Good inside information on Auburn. We'll come back here to Moe's Barbecue and wrap up the show. Final 30 minutes. We'll pick the games and everything. The show being brought to you as we head to break by our wonderful friends at Michelson Laser Vision LT. Tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. I got the procedure done over 2 decades ago, back in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, first to perform the laser procedure in the state of Alabama way back in 1995. Him, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. She is going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Back to Auburn in a moment.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Back with you in Auburn. This hour of the show always brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Perfect for your tailgating all football season. But when you're at home watching the Iron Bowl or going to basketball games or anything, office parties, birthdays, whatever, Champy's Chicken. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling brines that chicken overnight. It is cooked to order, juicy to the bone, hand-cut chicken fingers, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. Our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Still a lot to get to, including more of our pick three. But first, you have an update on.
Well, I've got a Busch Light. You know why?
Why?
Because we have officially drank Moe's out of Bud Light.
Oh no, we ran Moe's out of Bud Light.
That's a good day.
That's a great crowd.
I mean, it is a great crowd, but people are pounding Bud Light. Now they're in the process of getting more Bud Light in, but
okay,
Bud Light is currently out. That's why I've got a Busch Light.
You know where the other Moe's is if they want me to run over there and get it from that other Moe's.
I mean, that's pretty wild. I knew we had a great crowd here today. I did not think we could drink them out of Bud Light, though.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect on a Black Friday. I mean, I know obviously it's going to be a festive atmosphere all weekend long, but damn, drink them out of Bud Light.
I didn't know about the shopping down in downtown Auburn. I'm parked at the Methodist Church. Good for them to go ahead and have parking set up, $20. For one day parking over there. I assume that goes up tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope.
Maybe I can just leave my car there, but the place is packed down here. It really is. Everybody's walking around, and when you texted me about parking, I was like, well, first of all, why can't I just park in Moses' parking lot? Because the one I went to, I had a parking lot.
Right. The one in Opelika, right?
Yeah, it wasn't downtown. Yeah.
Yeah. When I first got to town today, which I was a little earlier than you guys, I was blown away at how many people were here. I thought it was going to be a sleepy little Friday. Boy, was I wrong.
Before we get back to the Iron Bowl, our Alabama Power question of the day, the favorite thing you had on the sheet on your plate yesterday, Brownie. Tell us about Alabama Power.
Yeah, Alabama Power makes sure not only do they keep your power going, and listen, when there are storms that come through like this past week, They have their hands full, but they do the very best they can to get you back on as quickly as possible. But they will also want to make sure that you are not paying more than you expect. They want your bill to be what it should be. So check out Alabama Power's free My Power usage tool. It helps you track how much energy you're using and when. A great way to spot patterns and avoid surprises. Plus, Alabama Power offers easy tips to help you save. Visit alabamapower.com/mypowerusage to manage your usage and keep cost in check.
What was the favorite thing you had on your plate yesterday?
It's almost always sweet potato casserole on Thanksgiving.
Ours
I love
was
it.
really good yesterday.
Yeah, and sweet potato casserole is just one of those things you might get it a couple times a year.
Yeah.
But you always get it on Thanksgiving, and it is one of my favorite dishes.
Well, we had a smoked turkey, a fried turkey, and a normal turkey, and 2 honey baked hams.
Oh, good Lord.
And the turkeys were the best they've ever been cooked. The casserole was terrific. We did some cream corn this year that was delicious. But whoever did the deviled eggs.
I love deviled eggs.
Oh, my goodness. I bet I had 7 of those.
Love deviled eggs.
It was delicious. Yours was brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Tell us about New York Butcher, and then tell me your favorite thing yesterday.
Yeah, New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well done service. I've got steaks from the New York Butcher Shop for tonight. Looking forward to that.
We had one guy that is only carnivore now, and he had a porterhouse. They threw a porterhouse on the grill for him. Is that when it's the filet and the, what's that called?
That's it's porterhouse. You've got the strip and the filet.
Yeah. So all he eats is meat. That's all he eats, meat.
I mean, I kind of like that diet.
He's lost 60 pounds in 3 years.
Only eating meat.
Only eats meat. And he only eats one time a day.
I know. Hey, look, and red meat's so good. But I've always said this, turkey, worst part of the Thanksgiving meal, but we got it yesterday from the New York Butcher Shop. It was so juicy, so flavorful. It's all everybody talked about. You guys are going to be blown away. Maddie was up seeing her family in Nashville. So I was in charge of all the food.
That does blow me away.
And so there was 8 of us total, I think. And I had to operate 2 different ovens, one up, one down. And I was taking stuff back and forth. I did all the preparing myself. How about that?
For your service.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
But we had cream corn, we had mashed potatoes, we had mac and cheese, pecan pie, we had the turkey. Probably I can't believe I'm saying this, but the most flavorful thing might have been the turkey.
Yeah, smoked turkey's the way to go.
Our turkey was so good. The fried was good too. And by the way, somebody messed up and burned a batch of the rolls.
Oh no!
Which is perfect for me. It came off charred on one side.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. So I picked up the bag of yeast rolls. I think it's 8 in a bag from Jim, and just put a little butter on the top.
Heck yeah.
Put them in for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
that was me. We had a charcuterie board too. So I'm sitting here going with the butter in the roll. This is all waiting for the meal to get there at 5. So at 2:30, they've already burned a batch of rolls. I threw goat cheese on one. I was eating everything with those burnt rolls. It was fantastic.
But you can get all this stuff in New York Butcher Shop. Again, rare quality, well done service. 2 locations, original Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Get in, see Jim and the great staff of Butchers. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you.
Okay, Caden Proctor, Alabama left tackle. Highly thought of NFL future left tackle. Gets asked about Alabama's run game going into this Auburn matchup. Here's how Caden Proctor answers the question about Bama's run game.
I mean, that's been a big focus, running game. I mean, it's bad when you get 50 yards a game, but I know we're playing tough opponents, like I said, tough defenses, and that's what they pride themselves on. They got big guys up front that are run stoppers. You got long, lengthy guys that can get around that edge. So I know that's big for the defenses that we've been going against, but I feel like we've been growing. And like I said, you have to have, 5 versus 1, 5 as 1. To succeed at that, to have a successful running game. So, but I'm proud of them. 8 rushing touchdowns. It doesn't matter who you're playing. That's a crazy stat right there.
I did think they got more push with Wilkin Formby at right guard, but here's the problem: Parker Brailsford not healthy, so he's probable for the game. He's not getting a lot of reps leading into this one. So you strengthen up right guard, but your center.
Yeah,
it's not 100%. You got to have him out there because he controls the calls and everything, but that's not going to help you in the push department.
Well, I mean, 3 of the biggest leaders on this team are all Washington defects. I mean, from Parker to Germ, who we have on every Monday, to Cuevas, and Cuevas not playing. Brailsford's banged up. Germ said on our show Monday that he took the Eastern Illinois game off just to get his body whole, so he's obviously not 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it is not the 100% healthy team that you would want if you're Alabama right now. Look, if Alabama has 24 carries, 58 yards, you're going to be surprised by that?
How many yards? I mean, that's 2.2 a carry.
I'm not surprised by that. 24 carries, 58 yards.
I think they need to get to 78 yards.
So
24 carries, 78
yards, and you think that's winnable for them?
That gets them into a good range, and I think then you can start talking. If they get to that 100, 24 carries for 100.
If Alabama rushes for 100 yards, I don't know that there is a path to victory for Auburn other than a bunch of turnovers. All I'm saying is Alabama doesn't run the ball well against anyone, and you just heard Bret Eddins, an Auburn guy, say the same thing. Like, you're not going to fluster Alabama by taking the run away from them. That's happened all year to them. They're not just going to panic and say, oh, my God, what do you do now? Well, you've had to do it in every conference game they've played, basically.
Before you hit the pick 3 song, we'll get everybody else's picks and talk games all the way to the top of the hour here. Going to the fourth quarter, Ole Miss, number 7 in the country, leads Mississippi State 24-13. 13th ranked Utah getting beat in Lawrence 14-10. With 12:43 to go in the game, Utes down 4 with the ball.
Yeah, look, you guys know I really respect Kyle Whittingham and that program, and I thought before the Kansas State game they were playing, at a super high level, and I thought maybe they did have a shot at backdooring their way in. But based on what we saw last week, we haven't watched any of this game, but struggling with Kansas, who's just trying to get bowl eligible, there is no way Utah can be in the conversation for an at-large.
Touchdown Utah, as I say that. 16,
no,
14.
They played like crap for 2 weeks. Yeah.
The extra point will make it 17-14 Utah with 12:26 to play. Hit the song, Tyler.
Pick 3, it's time for the pick 3. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick 3. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick 3. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick 3.
We've got our pick 3, Buffalo Wild Wings, their pick 6, the ultimate meal for 2, the pick 6, $19.99 at Buffalo Wild Wings. 2 entrees, 2 sides, 2 drinks. Pick between those boneless wings, any of the 26 sauces and seasonings, spicy sauce, grilled crispy chicken dippers, hand smashed, double stacked, all American cheeseburgers with sides of fries, tots, potato wedges. Get into one of those great locations all weekend long for this incredible week of football at Buffalo Wild Wings.
You want me to go? I've got Brooks too.
I was going to say my picks earlier. Ole Miss, they're leading right now. I like Georgia minus 15.5. I like Alabama minus the 5.5. For sure, remind me of who you picked.
That was Mississippi State plus 7.5. Not looking good. Tennessee minus 3.5, and then Auburn in the Iron Bowl plus the 6.5.
Yeah,
I don't know where you got 6.5 for us here, but
wow.
What we have on the pick 3. It's what everybody's playing at.
Okay, well, Dunaway laid 5.5. How does that work? How are you not laying 6.5?
I don't know. Because it was 6, I guess, and I take it down a half point to 5.5.
Yeah.
Great animation there. Let's get yours, Brownie, before LT gives us his.
I'm going to go ahead and take Texas tonight plus the 2.5. I'm going to take Arizona late tonight minus the 1.5 at Arizona State. And then, what are you laughing at?
These guys over there going,
are they?
Yeah, we got to play on that game. Territorial Cup at Lance's like that.
And I am going to say they exercise all the demons in the big house Saturday. Ohio State minus 9.5 over the Michigan Wolverines.
You're 1-2.
Brooks, thank you very much. That's about where I've lived this whole season, so that's not surprising. Brooks is going to take Georgia today against Georgia Tech minus the 15.5 at Mercedes-Benz. Kansas State minus 16.5 against Colorado. And then Tennessee, he's with Scotty there, minus 2.5 against the Vanderbilt Commodore.
All right, Lance, what do you have for us this week?
I will take the Georgia Bulldogs minus the 15.5 as well. I think this is not lining up well for Georgia Tech, and I think they get absolutely run out of the dome today.
Frank Key, the coach at Georgia Tech next year. He has not. Of all the guys who made the announcement, He hasn't made an announcement yet.
Yeah, I mean, where's he going to go?
Well, I think he's been mentioned at some places like Florida.
I think there's a bit of a reset now with Drink taking an extension, Clark Lee taking an extension, Lane going to LSU. If in fact that does happen, I think there's got to be a little bit of reset on these candidates, which brings a Brink Key back into play. If you're Florida or Ole Miss, if their job happens to be open,
maybe even a Penn State. I mean, I don't know where Penn State is right now. I guess it's Chesney of James Madison.
Yeah, I would think it's Chesney. Yeah. I'm also going to take Vanderbilt plus the 3.5. I actually think they win the game outright. I think Pavia obviously playing with a ton of confidence coming off his best game against Kentucky, and this Tennessee defense, not great. So I think he's going to put up big numbers.
What does he have to do in that game to win the Heisman? Not to be a finalist, to win the Heisman.
I don't think he can win the Heisman unless, I mean, if he has a game like he did against Kentucky and they get in the college football playoff, I think he's got a chance. I don't think if they don't get in the college football playoff, I don't think he wins it. I think he'd be a finalist. Yeah. I heard somebody talking about how many finalists are they going to have this year.
I would say 4 or 5.
I think they should have 5.
I think it ought to. They don't care what I think, but I think they ought to have a set number every year. They do it based on voting percentages and stuff.
Right.
I think they ought to have 5 every year. What's that going to hurt?
Yeah. So I do have Vanderbilt plus 3.5, and I am taking the Auburn Tigers plus the 6.5 now. I actually think this game is going to go down to the wire. I think it's going to be final possession. I think it's a really, really tricky spot. It is the worst case scenario for Kayla DeBoer in Alabama, having to play their way in front of this snake bit of a crowd tomorrow night.
Snake bit. Speaking of Penn State real quick, you brought that job up. I got sucked into a video on a guy that's a Penn State insider for one of the team websites up there, one of the fan sites. And the reason I got sucked in is he was talking about the Penn State coaching position. I was just going to see what he said. You know, the DeBoer name has been mentioned. He's like, here's what I can tell you definitively. Bob Chesney's not getting this job. I'm not going to go into why Bob Chesney's not getting this job. I don't know who's getting it, but I'll tell you who their final 3 were. Bob Chesney, Kalen DeBoer, Marcus Freeman. What? So...
And Chesney's not getting it.
Chesney's not going to get it. You're telling me that it's either going to be DeBoer or Marcus Freeman.
I got asked earlier in here, like, what are the chances DeBoer goes to Penn State? I said, better if they lose tomorrow night, but I think it's like 1-2%. Marcus Freeman's less than that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I mean, Marcus Freeman's got...
That's almost 0%.
He's got one of the best jobs in America right now to do what they've done this year, and they are still in the playoffs. I mean, that guy, I don't know why you would ever leave it.
Chambliss just threw a dime, 31-13. Ole Miss leads Mississippi State now. Other games around the country of interest. We have not talked any Ohio State and Michigan. Brown thinks that's a beatdown. You agree?
I do think Michigan is way too one-dimensional, and I don't think without Justice Haynes, you're just going to go with running back 2 or maybe even running back 3 and run the football consistently against this Ohio State defense. A lot is going to go back on Bryce Underwood. I don't think he's going to be able to make the plays. Again, back to our conversation with Joel Klatt on Monday. If this game is close in the second half, watch out. I don't think it will be. I think Ryan Day knows that. I think they jump on him early and kind of agree with Brown right now. I don't feel great about it, but I think they're going to win the game.
Yeah, I think they'll exercise the demons here at Dunaway. I just think Ohio State's a much better team than Michigan. And a lot of times in this 5-game losing streak, they have been, or several times they have been, the much better team than Michigan. It's just significant now, and I don't know where Michigan finds the points against that Ohio State defense.
Massive number for Oklahoma, minus 11.5 at home to LSU.
Yeah, that's the only thing that scares me is how big this number is. Like, I could understand 7.5 or 8.5 just because of how dominant their defense has been. It's at home. LSU's offense hasn't been good. They're in a backup quarterback situation. But, man, laying double digits with a really, really good LSU defense when Oklahoma's offense really can't do anything. I think Oklahoma wins the game, but I like LSU to cover.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Lance on this. But I think in an upset situation, this is a perfect. I mean, do you think Oklahoma will play this game pretty tight? Like, not tight score-wise. I mean, just will their players be tight in this game?
Yep.
I mean, they know what's on the line, right? This is not a free pop for them. They've got to win this game.
Oh, yeah.
And LSU, I mean, season's over. You're going to a bowl game for whatever that matters. I don't know I mean, I guess LSU players don't feel like they're playing for Frank Wilson, right? I mean, they're smart enough to know Lane Kiffin or somebody else is getting this job other than Frank Wilson.
Yeah, there is not a Frank Wilson line.
No, I don't think there is a Frank Wilson line, but I do think whoever the coach is, Frank Wilson is well respected down there. And Dunaway, you've mentioned it. He holds the keys to a lot of Louisiana high schools in recruiting. I think he's got a shot to be on the next staff.
I agree. And any other games before we talk Jon Sumrall, a little developing news before we wrap up?
I think we've hit everything I want to hit.
Okay. We'll end the show with this here as we're at Moe's Barbecue in Auburn. Bud Light, easy to drink.
Oh, by the way, we got more Bud Light.
Okay, good.
Showed up off the truck, very cold, very delicious.
Good.
And thank you to Adams Beverage Bud Light all year long. Our road shows on Friday, I've enjoyed the heck out of every one of them.
Yeah, it's amazing crowds, and that's because they're coming to drink Bud Light, not hear us idiots, but we appreciate them drawing people out.
All right, best crowd we've had.
I would say so, yeah.
It was packed at Innisfree. Last one in Tuscaloosa, last one at Auburn is packed as well. And to all the places we've been, thank you to all the women we've loved. Wasn't that a bad song in the 80s?
It was Julio Iglesias and Willie Nelson, right?
Well, odd pairing.
Yeah.
I bet they loved a lot, though.
I bet they did. I bet they had some notes.
Pete Nakos, Chris Lowe, Brett McMurphy, all reporting the same thing. Pretty good trio?
It is. And this is about Jon Sumrall? Yeah.
Florida has turned its attention to Tulane head coach Jon Sumrall with Lane Kiffin down to Ole Miss and LSU. Chris Lowe adds, even during the Kiffin courtship, Sumrall has remained on Florida's radar, and as everything starts to clear, a deal could come together quickly with the Gators.
Yeah, it's sad for Auburn because he ain't taking Auburn over Florida, in my opinion. And boy, what a gig for Sumrall.
Yeah, that's a great get.
So it looks like DJ Durkin's going to be the next head coach down here.
That's what I was going to say, Jim. I think that's the natural connect the dots, right? Is I have heard that John Cohen wants to make an announcement Sunday or Monday. Win or lose right now, I think signs are pointing towards DJ Durkin here at Auburn. I'm not saying I've got any information telling me that. I'm just using common sense here. The other people Auburn might turn to have already accepted extensions, and if all three of those are talking about Jon Sumrall, those guys are pretty good at what they do.
The only guy that wasn't in that trio is Pete Thamel, who said that earlier today that Sumrall would make his decision Sunday morning on staying at Tulane, Florida, or Auburn, and he put it in that order, Florida and Auburn. So he didn't go alphabetical.
Yeah,
he didn't go Auburn, Florida. He put Florida, Auburn for a reason in that order. So we'll see what Sumrall decides. Trying to beat Charlotte first in a very important game.
That's true, though. The American game is going to match two coaches going elsewhere. No matter where Sumrall ends up, he's not going to be at Tulane.
But I think both schools are going to be okay with them coaching their Group of 5 team in the first round of the playoff.
Oklahoma State has said they will. I don't know about Florida or Auburn if Sumrall gets one of those two jobs.
31-13 at the Egg Bowl. Lane Kiffin upset at halftime that, quote, we try to execute and play really good football for a whole sideline to try to fight and leave their whole sideline, including their athletic director. I just didn't like it, said Lane Kiffin, still very invested into the Ole Miss Mississippi State Egg Bowl rivalry.
Including their athletic director. So he's saying that Zach Selman came off the bench and had a role in the fight.
Yeah,
that's Lane Kiffin for you.
One more time, LT, our friends at Bud Light and Moe's Barbecue before we say goodnight.
Yeah, hey, look, drop by. I mean, all day long. I mean, the party is just starting here at Moe's on Magnolia. Stop in. They've got a fresh load of Bud Light here. Fresh off the truck. You can get it in the buckets. You can get the pitchers. It's all going on at Moe's right here all night long. And I assume they're probably going to have live music on this stage.
Right on this stage.
Yeah.
We'll be clearing off for that. So I like Alabama in a close win. You like?
I think Auburn is actually going to win the game.
Auburn wins the game?
I think I'm going to take the Auburn Tigers. I just feel like this whole DJ Durkin thing, this shouldn't matter. I'm just saying
this is where you're stand up in the chair, and I'm supposed to hold the chair while you get up and scream.
Yeah, that's how I do that. I think the whole DJ Durkin thing, it just feels like he's going to win this game. He's going to be announced as the coach Sunday is the way this is all playing out.
I'm telling you, Monday, the bigger story is going to be what a disaster season this has been for Alabama if they do lose this game on Saturday night.
Yeah,
I'll take Alabama winning. I take Alabama winning the SEC championship game too.
Again,
But if Alabama gets to Atlanta, they don't lose those much. So I would agree. I mean, that's what's so crazy about this. Like, I think they lose Saturday night, but I think if they win, I think they win the SEC championship, and I think they've got a ton of momentum going into the college football playoff. This is just a terrible, terrible scenario for Alabama tomorrow night. But Dunaway's really confident. I can tell.
Yeah, you're quite confident, and I don't know how the chat feels about that.
Oh, I don't think they like it at all.
I don't think they like your confidence in this. But you're quite confident.
100th in the pass defense against a team that loves to pass. Love the matchup. Love the matchup.
Okay, loves it. Extreme confidence here.
Yeah. All right, that's the show. We're back with you Monday to talk about it. Reaction on all of our social media platforms throughout the week at Next Round Live, at Next Round Live. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The next